Welcome to Drinking Bros, presented by GhostBed.com.
Welcome to Drinking Bros Fake News, where we bring you the realest fake news of the week. We're not the Epoch Times or the Epic Times, as Dan corrected me, but I would say we're a little better.
Better how? I mean, that's apples and hand grenades that you're comparing, because they're a first-party research group. Like I don't ever want to use the word journalism again, because journalism is not something that happens anymore, right? Obviously,
no. It's just editorial. It's just opinion. It's op-ed pieces.
But they do that. I mean, they actually interview people and things like that. We just report on shit that's going on that's already been reported on, basically. So I don't want to confuse the two, but yeah, we're way better.
Yeah, we're way better. You're better off getting your news here than you are from like David Muir or somebody like that, because our opinions matter, and we're telling you up front that we're giving you our opinions versus others who are just saying, hey, these are facts.
Our lives matter also.
All lives matter, Dan.
Well, that's not true.
All lives matter.
Pedophile lives don't matter.
That's true. They do not matter. They do not matter.
And neither does Gavin Newsom's life.
No, and none of these guys. Look, kids, we're in the middle of a lockdown that is about to happen. They're recounting votes. People are rescinding votes and recalls and all that other shit. We did get to, I'd say what, we did solve yesterday's story with the Post Malone thing, by the way.
Oh, yeah? Solved it, huh?
Did solve it yesterday. One of the celebrities we had hired for the beer pong show, we got a hold of their reps, and agents and managers and all that shit did confirm that it was about 6 weeks after our show. And they thought it was the same production. And she was like, hey, man, if you need all the emails and text messages and everything else, she was like, we'll turn them over so you guys can file a big fat lawsuit, because we had no idea. And so we did get the confirmation on that. But I think it was his manager, by the way.
Of course it was.
It was, what's his nuts? The fuck's that guy's name?
Dre.
That's it. So that's kind of where all leads had headed last night, and got the confirmation on that last night, and then this morning with somebody else. So, it is what it is. Again, I'm not going to fucking sue over this.
No, of course not.
Not going to waste my time with it, but that is real news, actually. So we got to the bottom of it pretty quickly, and shout out to some friends of mine who we made some calls. First up of the day, kids, lock it all down. NYC is locking it all down. All schools are back to virtual in New York. Who knows what will happen to the already struggling restaurants and real estate industries in New York City. My guess is they're heading for a massive collapse.
Yeah.
The same with California, who is also now entering a new phase of shutdowns, as are a number of states that have spikes in COVID. You also can't walk around even outside now in California without a mask, which I didn't know that was possible legally. Is it?
No. I mean, I don't know. I have no idea with with shutting down people's businesses. That is clearly unconstitutional.
There's a fly in your hat right now.
Oh, really? Is it the Pence fly?
I'll tell you. Yeah, like no one told Pence. I'll tell you, but yeah.
Yeah, we'll get to this story in a few minutes. But another ruling came down actually in California about businesses staying open, and it's not what you would expect. But that one, the constitutionality seems pretty clear. We haven't seen, to my understanding, we haven't seen any judges rule in favor of keeping things closed. Mm-hmm. The mask thing, I don't think anybody can even muster an actual challenge that has any real standing to it. So that's probably not going to change. I don't know what. Maybe that'll change now. Like, this is the first time we've ever had to deal with something like this. There's never been a point in American history where, I mean, people often cite the Spanish flu in the early 20th century, which is true. In public transportation and things like that, masks were required. But requiring people just to have a mask anytime they're anywhere in public is not something that's ever been done before.
Right.
So this is going to be a new legal precedent. I don't know exactly what you would be able to sue for. If you sued on the grounds of this causes me medical problems, the court would dismiss it and say, well, you have the ADA for that. You can just tell people that and
Sure.
not wear the mask.
Yeah.
Period.
Yep.
And if they tell you to leave, then you can sue that business, but you can't sue the people making the law for that to get the law overturned. You have to have standing, obviously, to win a lawsuit like that. And I don't know what the standing would be exactly. Like, you can't tell me what to do, I guess.
Yeah.
But what's the legal background for that? We'll find out. I think some people will try to do that. But
Yeah, I do too. And you know, I know this is a gigantic sticking point for people in this country in particular. I was at there's a local gas station by my house that I go to a couple times a week. Usually grab some water, some gas, and maybe some candy for the kids here and there, right? And I've gotten to know the clerks in there pretty well. They were all sick of wearing the mask. Now, I just walked in because I was pumping gas and I didn't really think about it. I just walked in without the mask on the other day, and there was like 4 people in there, right?
Yep.
And when I went to pay, I realized I didn't have it on. So I apologized to the clerk. I said, "Hey, I'm sorry. I you know, come in here all the time. I forgot to wear the mask."
Right.
And she leans over, pulls hers down, and she goes, "Nope, I don't give a shit about the goddamn mask either."
Yeah.
And she goes, "Look, people are picking sides." She goes, "We've had 2 people scream at other people in stores over the week. People yelling at other people outside."
Right.
And what I asked her was, I was like, "So they were outside the store. They didn't come in." And she said, "No, they didn't come in. But people were lecturing, and I guess they had to call the cops because somebody was screaming it. And these are white people, by the way.
Yeah, of course.
They were screaming at one another, saying you should be wearing your mask at all times and all that other shit. If that's what happens, right? Let's say Biden gets in and he says it's going to be a mandatory mask everywhere you go in the world, including outside.
Right.
Sitch, man, that is going to be a major source of contention.
It's not even going to be a source of contention. He will immediately get shut down by sheriffs, right?
I think, but I don't know the laws on this.
So New York's already doing it. All the measures about not like New York says don't even go see your family for the holidays.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah,
Cuomo said that.
they have now said do not go see your family at all. It was at 10, then it was at 5. Now they're saying don't leave.
And 3 or 4 New York County sheriffs have already told Cuomo to get fucked. Like, we're not enforcing this. And the only person that can stop a sheriff from enforcing the law in their area is the governor. They have to come arrest that person.
Correct.
And that's just not going to happen. You're not going to see Cuomo or Whitmer or Newsom or any of those other people sending out sheriffs or sending out state police to arrest sheriffs. It's not, and the state police won't do it.
No.
Also, by the way, I don't believe that's going to happen. So if you're the left in that case, you need to be really careful because the optics are bad. Like, you're gonna lose without using force. You'll have to use force to win. And is it this the point where you want to try to use force after there's an election that's in question and it doesn't look like there's enough provable fraud to overturn anything, but there was clearly a lot of shit that was tried.
Right.
And over the last 4 years with Hillary Clinton and the Steele dossier and all this other bullshit, this fucked up bullshit that's happened over the last 4 years, no one trusts the left. And if you meet their distrust with force, that's you'll lose forever.
Yeah.
If you do that. It's a really bad move. Maybe they'll do it. Who knows? I mean, every other time we've seen the left in a country go hard left, it's almost always resulted in the same thing, like a dictatorial socialism of some sort, right?
Yeah.
Venezuela. I mean, there's a million examples of it. People aren't going to allow that here. Like, there will be like physical conflict that happens to stop that from happening. And I don't think anybody wants that shit, frankly. But you are seeing, I don't understand why there aren't more federal lawsuits since they have been successful in federal courts. I don't know if the courts aren't picking them up and trying them, but Pennsylvania, there's been one, the state Supreme Court in Michigan, in San Diego this past week, and we'll get to that story in a minute.
The courts are, well, I will say this, lawsuit-wise, the courts are backed up because of COVID, right?
Yeah, but these are immediate injunction requests. They have to be processed first.
Correct. I think they're so overwhelmed with businesses and restaurants and all that stuff. Like, it's getting harder and harder. And imagine if there's a second shutdown, like a full-on shutdown. Because right now in New York, we're on 10 o'clock curfews. And I know Ohio is the same way. My sister's in Ohio, and she works there, and she works at a restaurant. And she said it is 10 o'clock for bars and restaurants now in the state of Ohio. I just don't understand how these guys are going to be able to stay open past the holidays.
Yeah, there's
She works at a chain restaurant, by the way. Then it's not a mom and pop.
Right.
She works at Buffalo Wild Wings.
the federal rulings that have already come down, being as such. If let's just say we were talking about the travel ban from Trump in 2017, right? If a federal court had ruled that it was unconstitutional, or a lower level court, like a federal level court.
Well, initially they did in San Francisco, the 9th district.
Right,
that.
but he kept doing it, right?
Correct.
And you remember the fallout from that. People, dictator, XYZ, he's trying to make himself king, he's racist, he's whatever, xenophobe, whatever the fuck else. Oddly, you're not hearing any of the same stuff coming out right now, while not just the incoming left administration, but all these fucking lefty governors are continuing to create and try to enforce things that have been deemed unconstitutional by a major federal court in the United States. And nobody is talking about how fucked up that is. Florida, on the other hand, as you might expect, said the following. The governor will not lock down and hurt families who can't afford to shelter in place for 6 weeks, especially not for a virus that has a 99.8% survival rate.
Oh, man, I wish we could play some Sheck West right now.
Yeah.
Some Mo Bamba for this for Florida. Because, look, that is exactly what we need. We need Floridas everywhere. Brother. Yeah. They're doing everything just fine.
Our buddy Matt Belinsky posted some stuff the other day about if you're worried about the shutdowns and all this stuff, blah, 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 keep a close eye on how it's handled, because the early returns show that the peak is happening way earlier in the process than it did, because we found out about it in late January, in a real way, like nationwide, and we didn't really do anything until like mid-March,
right?
Because it was a super slow build.
Yeah.
Testing wasn't available. We didn't know what all was going on, but now people are fatigued by all this stuff.
Yes.
And they're out doing whatever the fuck they want, because you can't tell Americans what to do. That's ridiculous. No. So it seems like it's spreading. The viral nature of COVID has not changed. It hasn't become more lethal. It's the same thing it's always been. So with those things in mind, you would think that if the peak is happening sooner, it's going to be a much shorter window this time for the seasonal virus, right?
One would think, but we'll see. I don't know. The craziest thing for me about all of this is, let's just take New York to start with, right? They have this shutdown, and the cases were peaking and spiking and all this other shit Tuesday. When Biden was declared the winner by the press, that was on Saturday. 3 million New Yorkers were out in the streets celebrating, no mask.
Yeah.
Everything's rad,
we
right?
have a story about that later too.
Yeah, but the problem I have with this is like, dude, and then 6 days later, all your businesses are now shutting down at 10 o'clock.
Right.
I don't understand what you're celebrating in that case. That just doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever, right? And no one's talked about it. Literally no one has talked about it except for us about, hey man, the New York thing, like we all saw those videos, right? Yeah. No place I'd rather be, and blah, blah, blah. And now all your businesses are shutting down.
Yeah.
What is most important to you in this life than making a decent living or working a job that is your dream, I guess? Like, for me personally, because I get this question all the time with the podcast, like, why not make more movies and all this other stuff? I love doing this every day so much that, like, every day I come to work is a fucking dream, right? It's awesome. I can sit here for goddamn hours if need be, if we wanted to, like, but you know, I don't know how much interest people have in a goddamn 4-hour podcast.
Yeah.
With New York, the dream of living in New York and opening up your own bar and restaurant and all that stuff, like, at least when I lived there, was like, hey man, this is my life savings. It is going into a restaurant or a bar in New York City. And I mean, you had people, like, you could tell, who were holding on for years and years ago. It was a bar that my wife and I used to make fun of called Jimmy's Corner. And the joke of it was not on a corner. It was just in the middle of this street. And it was like, that fucking guy probably held on to that name so long. It was like, no matter what, it's my dream to have a bar called Jimmy's Corner. Then I'll open it up in the middle of the street if that's all that's available to me. all of that stuff is now going to go away, and you were just celebrating the guy who's going to shut down the country. Like,
well, it doesn't end there. It doesn't end with the cognitive dissonance on behalf of these politicians and policymakers. They're actively involved, right? Gavin Newsom.
yes.
This week or this past weekend,
this fucking dirtbag
on Monday, announced that amid rising COVID-19 cases in the state of California, that he would be, quote unquote, pulling the emergency brake on reopening plans. On the same day, he had to apologize for going to the French Laundry, which is a 3 Michelin-starred restaurant.
It is,
it's one of the best restaurants in the country. I don't know if you've ever been there, but it's dope as fuck.
It's great. Yes, I have been there.
It's about $2 to $350 per person.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Usually, if you get the wine pairing, it's about $400 per person. Give or take.
But what, 5 courses?
Yeah, 5 or 7. It depends on the day you go in. But yeah, it's a really good place. Anyways, on November 6th, Newsom, his wife, Jennifer, attended the 50th birthday party for a political consultant named Jason Kenney at the French Laundry, which is, by the way, in Napa, if you've never been there.
Yeah.
There were about 24 people at the event, which is held at an outdoor table in a courtyard of the restaurant. And you can see in the photos, everybody is very closely packed together. Nobody's wearing masks. The weird thing about it is that if you look through the rest of the crowd, you'll see Janice Norman, who is a lobbyist for the California Medical Association. And then on the other side, on one side of Newsom, and on the other side of Newsom is the CEO of the California Medical Association, Dustin Corcoran.
Now, were both of them wearing masks, Dan?
No one was.
You don't say.
Yeah.
Man.
So the rules don't apply to us. They apply to you. It's the same thing with Pelosi walking around and her fucking, like, getting her appointment.
Her hair
to get
done,
her
yeah.
hair done, and all these other motherfuckers.
Yes.
They don't actually believe in any of this shit.
No.
If somebody believes that you are at serious risk for something and they tell you you have to do this, otherwise you're fucked, but they don't do it, you know they're lying to you.
Yeah, and if you're going to a Michelin restaurant like
it's like
this,
telling you, it's like drinking and telling you, oh no, this is for adults.
Yeah, this is for adults only. Don't worry about it.
Like, yeah, you're not the adults. If you're a politician in America, you're not the adult in the room. You're a whiny little cunt. You're a fucking mean girl, basically, that's trying to box everybody out of power and influence so you can hoard it all for yourself. You're a piece of shit. Every single politician in this country is a piece of shit. Every single one of them.
The other part about this restaurant in particular, and why Dan was really laying out what they do here, is when you go to this is like for most normal folks, a once-in-a-lifetime type of deal, and you go to this restaurant, you make the reservations, you have to make it in advance. The reason why is when you go to one of these Michelin restaurants like the French Laundry, you were there for hours, fucking hours. So it's not like you're just popping in for a quick bite. You were with all of these people, 24 people without mask on for hours at a time, man. I mean, it's a minimum of a 3-hour experience at a restaurant like that.
If you're, even Crenshaw, I don't like him either. And we'll get into a story about him pretty soon about why I don't. But anyways.
Dan Crenshaw?
Correct. Yeah, somebody's asking in the chat.
Okay.
Anyways, yeah, it's, if you go to French Laundry with like 5 people, you should expect to spend about $1,500 to $2,000 basically. Yeah, and it takes about 3 hours, give or take. Yeah. At least in my, I've been there a couple times. It takes about that long.
Yeah.
It is again. If somebody is trying to warn you off of things, but they're doing those things, they're not trying to help you. They're trying to keep those things for themselves. This is what an oligarchy is, my man. It is all these assholes trying to convince us that everything is fucking bad, right? Oh, these people are trying to get you. These people are trying to get you. They're trying to steal your money. They're trying to, they hate black people. They hate this. They fucking love this. They're fucking xenophobes. They're tyrants, whatever the fucking case is. And meanwhile, they're engaging in the exact behavior they're telling you not to.
Yeah.
So what the fuck are we doing here exactly? I mean, I don't trust any of you pieces of shit. Not one of them.
No, and it goes back to even Chris Christie. Remember him sitting on that beach when he shut down all the beaches in New Jersey and then took his family out for the day? And his fat ass was plopped down on the beach, just enjoying the entire ocean to himself with his family. It's not getting any better. I don't know what is going to happen with all of this because what he came out and apologized. Newsom did. after this restaurant issue, and it was just
He apologized in the same way that Bill Clinton apologized for busting nuts in Monica Lewinsky's mouth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not I'm sorry. It's I'm sorry I got caught.
Yeah.
Those are not the same thing.
Sorry I got caught.
Yeah. So it's come on, man. And I know the way these people think. The way they think is, I mean, we all took the proper measures. We know we're smart people, man. We did the right stuff and we made sure everybody wasn't sick. That's what every fucking body does. You stupid fuck.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Do you think people, like reasonable people, are going out and just coughing in each other's mouths? Like, hey, this ain't real, man. Just like coughing at each other. No, it never happens like that.
Nope,
Ever.
no.
You stupid motherfucker.
I watched Kevin Hart's Netflix special last night. He dropped a new stand-up special on Netflix. It was interesting because he did it in his own house, and all of the audience was wearing masks. I don't know if you guys saw it, but
Inside, there were
inside his house.
There were audience members in his house. You're saying
In his house, and
That's
they were
pretty
wearing
funny.
masks.
I haven't seen it yet. No.
Yeah. Look.
Can you pull up? Go to Netflix, turn the audio down on that TV, and then find one of the shots of the.
Yeah, just find a
crowd.
still of it, because he's got the fireplace behind him, the whole shit, and the whole bit is he walks out and he says, "I'm afraid of leaving my house these days, therefore I'm going to continue to do stand up, but it's going to be inside my house." I will say this, Kevin Hart, the 1 hour was incredibly polished for not having any work that went into it, and it was pretty fucking good. The oddest thing to me though was the cutaways to the crowd. Just cutting away to people wearing masks, and you can't see their facial expressions.
Yeah, that's pretty weird.
For stand-up comedy.
Like, did they mic them up better so you could even hear the laughs? Because it's all muffled now, right?
Yeah, so it felt like the Twilight Zone, where that episode where they don't have mouths on their faces, you know, like the old black and white ones, where you're just like, oh, this is weird. But as a whole, it was pretty goddamn decent. I'm not gonna shit on Kevin Hart for it.
No, Kevin Hart. I mean, honestly, I'm not surprised that a show would be good, even if he had absolutely no preparation at all, because it's Kevin Hart. To be honest, if you just went to dinner with that guy,
he's a pro. Yes.
Just the conversation that he has on a regular basis is funny.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's a funny, very, very, very smart man. Very smart. To be that funny all the time, you have to be incredibly smart. Also incredibly depressed. So check on Kevin Hart. I mean, he's a small man. Luckily, he's rich now.
Super rich. But he wasn't always.
No.
And he did the entire set in his pajamas. So the bit was he walks from his upstairs bedroom with his wife and his kids downstairs, and then he goes on stage inside of his living room. It was one of the most creative things there it is. You can pull up that image right there, and he's in front of his fireplace, he's in his pajamas, and you got to hand it to him, man.
Are those low top Jordan 1s?
Yes, they are. You know, for Kevin Hart, dude, it's that team is always on point for him, man. Shit, are you zooming into those Jordan 1s? Those are nice, aren't they?
But they're low.
Know those aren't fake.
Those are like low top, aren't they?
Yeah, it's Kevin Hart, dude. You get a hold of that shit.
Well, you can
get the
buy them
best
on
shit.
you can buy them on this website now, but they're all out of stock. Like, you can make any color you want, basically. You can put
know.
any color combination on any version of any of Nike's shoes, basically. Now it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Is there any shots of the actual crowd? I wanted to see that.
I doubt it, because it's weird, man. I mean, you can watch it on Netflix, obviously. It
Just
dropped
go
last
to
night.
netflix.com and log in and then find it. God damn it. We got to get Rob back in here.
When is Hot Bob coming back? Hot Bob he starts back next Monday, right? The 30th. He'll be back in.
Yeah, 30th.
He's a master typer, that guy.
Yeah.
Master typist.
You guys act like I know my Netflix password offhand, and you act like it's mine.
We love you, Giorgio.
No, I don't expect a lot out of you.
We love you. We don't expect a lot
Honestly,
out of you at all.
every time I walk in here in the afternoon and see you for the first time during the day, I wonder if you're okay.
And how many milligrams are physically inside your
Yeah.
body?
Or inches.
Yeah, either one.
Either way.
Either one. We got some sponsors who pay for this show to be on the air, which is a shock to all of us still. But it's ghostbed.com/drinking bros. That is the first one. Finally, us dummies, dude, who aren't members of the military, first responders, teachers, or work in the government, finally get the same deal of 30% off. So you're welcome for my service today at Olive Garden. I get the same deal as everybody else. It's only going to last for, I believe, another week, and then there's going to be a monster Black Friday deal, but I don't know who that's for, what it's for, or anything else. In the meantime, if you're in one of these places that's getting shut down, Ohio, New York, North Carolina is not getting out of phase 3.
Yeah, you better have a comfortable fucking bed. That's for sure.
Yeah, you do. Go to ghostbed.com/Stringing Bros today. They get everything. Mattresses, sheets, pillows, adjustable bases, you name it. They got it at ghostbed.com/Stringing Bros. And as always, they get a 36-month pay-as-you-go program. No interest there, which is always nice. So you can get a bed for like $35 a month, dude. It's great.
Killcliff's doing a 30% off thing for the next until the end of November, I think, too.
Really?
Yeah.
With Drinking Bros?
Promo Drinker Bros for CoCliffCBD.com and CoCliff.com. Either one.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. I use my own shit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna order now. 30% off?
Yeah.
Free shipping too? Fuck you, dude. I know exactly what I'm doing after this show.
Yeah. Buying CBD.
Sorry, KillcliffCBD.com. I will be using Drinking Bros as my promo code to get 30% off. That is massive. That is massive.
Tomorrow is Black Rifle Friday, isn't it?
Black Rifle Friday.
Yeah, we came up with that a couple years ago.
Drinking Bros 10. Is that still the promo code for BlackRifleCoffee.com?
Yeah, Drinking Bros 10, Drinking Bros 20. If you've never used that, Drinking Bros, I think they all still work. But
yeah,
their special sale that's going on right now is that. So it's Black Rifle Friday. It's the Friday before Black Friday. So
That's dope.
They basically just run a series of different sales over the course of a week or two.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what exactly they have going on right now. Just go to their fucking social media. You'll see it. They're pretty informative.
That's awesome. Giorgio, you want to pop that up full screen? That picture of the Kevin Hart thing? There you go.
There
you go.
Don't press
anything.
play though,
Don't
because
press play. We'll get fined.
Yeah, YouTube will definitely
We'll
pick
get
that up.
worked. Yeah, so that was the crowd, and the way they had it all set up, man, was a really cool setup. It was shot really well, and but that was the crowd. So every time they had a cutaway, so the crowd, like, dude, you can only see people's eyes.
Yeah, it's
It was
weird.
strange, man. I feel
It's
like
weird.
the
You can see
Twilight
it there.
Zone in that, but
And that's his actual living room, right?
his
there?
house, man.
That's interesting. That's
his
a
house.
nice fucking place.
He's got a beautiful place. It is gigantic,
All
but
right,
he's also
I'm-
got like 7 kids.
Get rid of this. I want to see myself again.
Next up, strip clubs are apparently essentially, goddamn right they are, Dan. A California judge ordered San Diego to reopen strip clubs last week. San Diego Superior Court judge, we're going to say his name on the show because he deserves this. Joel R. Woolfield. Boy, that's a mouthful
Yeah.
for you, Joel.
That's what is that, like Austrian or some shit?
Who Rock Me Amadeus, that is like Falco, ordered the state to end any sanctions and actions that prevent the strip clubs from being allowed to provide live adult entertainment.
That's actually in the court ruling.
Yep, it is.
Quote, being allowed to provide live adult entertainment. End quote.
The owners of 2 strip clubs argued that their business is legally protected speech guaranteed by the First Amendment. I've never had a stripper talk to me that much.
I mean, speech can mean a lot of different things, right? Like the clothes you wear, for example, is a form of freedom of
Is it?
speech. Yeah.
Okay.
Like you could never be arrested for wearing something with obscenity on it necessarily. You could be fined or ticketed for it citation wise, but you can sue and win a lot of these morality laws from back in the day, any kind of political influence or anything like that, just in the clothing you're wearing. Who you donate money to in a political campaign, if you get fired for that, that's against the law. Right?
Gotcha.
So there's a lot of different things like that. But yeah, I mean, freedom of speech is, I guess, the freedom to call me baby a lot
Yeah.
and ask me if I want a private dance. The answer is no. But I don't even want to be here. I'm only here because the person who had the cocaine wanted to come here.
Yeah,
that's
I
the only
know.
reason I
Every
ended
time,
up here.
dude. Every
it smells
time.
weird. All of you have C-section scars.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm just not into it. But I am into cocaine. So no, this is an in-bank, so it's not a final thing. There's going to be a full hearing at the end of the month, but it temporarily allows all the strip clubs to reopen for indoor service.
Indoor service.
As other
All right.
institutions close, like churches are still closed right now.
Yeah.
But strip clubs are open, which
Well-
is the only thing California's really got going for it right now.
The only time I thought I did see God was in a strip club.
Mm.
So, I wept. There was some hangers on this one dancer that I was just like, my
Yeah.
God, those are teardrops, and those are close to perfect. And if you weren't a stripper,
Right.
we could really try to make a run of it in this life.
Well, on the church thing, the funniest thing about this in my opinion, is that now all these church groups and religious organizations are filing lawsuits against the state of California.
Yeah, they want to open.
And they're using the strip club as a precedent.
Yes.
So all these court filings by these super religious attorneys they have to like talk to the council and people from strip clubs to get statements and shit to back that. I love that.
That's great. Do we know the name of the strip club? That's always a fun one for me. I always like to know the names.
I'm
of
pretty
strip
sure
clubs.
it was the same as here. The Restaurant and Bar Association here in Austin sued the governor and the mayor and a bunch of other shit. I'm sure it's the same. It's probably a collection of different people.
Because there was some of my like faves over the years. There was I was editing a movie in Reseda one year, and right around the corner
This is a good idea.
was the Frisky Kitty.
Yep.
I was a big fan of that name. The Landing Strip I've been to. The names of strip clubs. Big G.
I actually like strip club in San Diego, but it's a steakhouse. It's like a New York strip club. It's right next to.
Hey, you guys want to
Dick's-
go to the strip club?
Yeah, it's right next to Dick's Last Resort on Gaslamp, right there.
Ross,
Is it
it
really?
says it was a co-effort by Cheetahs and Pacers strip club
Okay,
to overturn the ruling from the LA
Cheetahs is
Times.
a
That's a
is
conglomerate,
Is a
yeah,
chain,
it's a
yeah,
big
one.
yeah. Pacers is that's relatively new.
So it's like a big strip club in the indie market getting together.
Yeah. Okay. I understand it. I understand it.
I like this idea from J space R all caps.
Is this on YouTube?
Yeah, he says
Hammer the like button, by the way.
churches should just install some poles. They already have the private confessional. Just well, that's Catholic churches. Yeah, that would be. How funny would that be? If to subvert this law, they just started having like on Saturday, like right after the service, there's strippers.
Man, well, the Pope
Or
got
instead-
popped
like,
on Instagram
The
this week.
the initial praise and worship of your church ceremony, instead of being singing and shit, is just strippers dancing.
That'd be great. Like
And then
nuns.
you pass the collection plate around and see how much money you can get for Jesus.
Hey, man.
You know what I mean?
You
Like
give it
Jesus-
up for Jesus.
Mary
if you saw
Magdalene
some
was a
people.
prostitute, and Jesus was like, that was his beef rise. So you think he's like a kink shamer, Jesus?
No,
I don't think
Jesus
so,
is
dude.
down.
Jesus hung around with 12 other adult males his entire adult life.
Yes.
And one prostitute.
Yes.
Let's be real about who
But we
Jesus
also
is.
I understand that as a dude. Like
Yeah.
in this life, if you had the option to hang out with 12 of your best friends and
all I want to do,
prostitutes,
all I want to do is
have some fun.
if I had a time machine,
Mm-hmm.
no, I don't like Sheryl Crow. If I had a time machine, I'm not going back and trying to kill Hitler and that stuff. I'm going to every major philosopher, prophet, whomever throughout history, and just asking them what they think about titties.
Nietzsche, Socrates, all those guys. Yeah.
Yeah, all of them.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus, what kind of titties you like, bro?
What kind of titties you like? Yeah.
Are you an ass man? I mean, Jesus is probably an ass man. You'd think.
Mine. So I go naturals. I'm always a naturals guy. Like if you
Mm-hmm.
can do it. Nipples are. I'm very particular on that as well. You know.
Placement or shape, size, color?
Both. Like them big. I like old school 70s. Stevie Wonder braille nipples too. Like that type of thing.
I like big fake titties. Not too big though. I like C cup fake titties.
Yeah.
And or maybe D. I guess D's too. Yeah. Depends on the size of the woman, obviously. But
Sure.
People ask me frequently if I'm an ass man or a tits man. Obviously, ass, because
So is the Pope though.
you can buy titties.
Yeah. The Pope. By
I
the way,
can't buy
is-
you an ass.
The Pope liked an ass shot on Instagram this
Yep.
week.
Well, I doubt the Pope is running his own goddamn Instagram. Can you imagine?
know.
Like him and Donald Trump are like in each other's Twitter DMs talking shit.
Here's the thing. It's a boring job as the Pope. Like you only have to come out once a week.
Socrates.
Socrates is a great one.
Oh,
you only
man.
have to come out once a week as the Pope. So why not? I'm sure he's on the gram all fucking day, to be honest with you. And he's like the cool Pope where everybody's like, oh, sweet, he's cool, man. He's one of us. No, he's not. The only reason why he approved gay marriage was so they could get more money from gay people at the church. He doesn't fucking want that shit. You know.
That is a good example of how free market capitalism is the solution to
It
most
is.
social issues. Though,
It
isn't
is, dude. Yes.
If enough people become something, that thing will become acceptable because you need their fucking money.
Yes. And that is all that it is about, including when Obama
That's
would
why
have taken
with-
7 years to pass
Yeah.
gay marriage. It was
That's
like, hey,
stupid.
bro, it's dumb as shit.
That's why it wasn't even him. It was the Supreme Court that did it. I think he wanted the Supreme Court to be in charge of that, frankly.
Mm-hmm.
So he laid it off, which probably was a good decision. But yeah, he should have at least spoken out on it way earlier.
Somebody brought up Cocoa Puff nips.
Yeah.
Down with those as well, man. I just don't like the tiny little like the nipples that I had when I was like 7 years old.
I don't
where you're just,
mind
like,
that.
small and kind of.
I don't like a giant areola.
I do.
That's weird to me.
do.
I like a normal like $50 sized areola, and the nipple I don't really care.
See, like for me, if there was somebody topless in a park, like I want a dog to jump up through the air because they think it's a frisbee, like the frisbee nipple, like that's my jam. But the fake ones, like I understand it at a certain age and all this other stuff, but naturals, I try to,
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah.
I mean, I like natural titties.
Yeah. By the way, best strip club name that I've seen in the United States of America, and this is for anybody in Tennessee, and I'll give them just a free shout out. Big Jim's Booby Bungalow was the greatest strip club name of all time.
That's
for
a
me.
lot of words.
It is, but Big Jim had to get his name in there. Obviously, we did that episode at Buck's Wild. We didn't get to meet Buck that night,
No, I don't think Buck exists.
but things did get wild, real wild.
Yeah, things that get wild. I think
Somebody had sex in there.
there was a considerable redistribution of wealth that happened in that building that evening. None of it on my part. All I did was drink like 30 White Claws.
Yeah, and then we
We actually,
interviewed all the strippers.
they let us bring our own booze in.
Yeah,
well, I
it
guess
was-
we had to because it's fully nude, right?
I'm not sure how that works, but
I think in Texas, if it's a fully nude place, then you have to bring your own booze. or
if you
some
go
shit
back
like
and
that.
listen to that episode, we did interview every stripper in VIP inside the club.
Yeah, and they were, I mean,
I wonder if that girl got her degree.
her dad was some kind of like doctor or some shit. I don't remember.
She outed the dad on the show.
Yeah, which is really funny. He's like a research scientist of some sort, so I'm sure he's super proud. Not that he shouldn't be. God, they were just kind and
Dancing their hearts out.
brilliant. I don't know what I expected. I don't know why I tried to have a normal conversation with any of these people. You know what I mean? Not that there aren't smart people in the sex worker industry. Of
Yeah,
course there are.
yeah.
But goddamn, dude, they weren't there that night.
No. They weren't there that night.
But we were already kind of drunk by the time we got over there, too.
Yeah, and look, they're just looking for some gifts, for some Christmas gifts. And if you're at home looking for some Christmas gifts, go to Zebit.com.
Rhymes with debit.
Zebit. You're getting $2,500 with the promo code Drinking Bros this year. What is it? You're asking.
Yeah, it's real simple. Instead of what you remember as being layaway, where you put down a little bit of money and then you go back and pay, and then you pay it off when you pick it up. Here you get a line of credit, which is $2,500, and you pay whatever the introductory rate is on the thing you're buying, whether it's a PlayStation, Xbox, iPhones,
Including the new ones.
like
Yeah.
cookware, furniture, gift cards, any kind of thing you can imagine that you're going to buy for Christmas presents. You can get it here, and you can pay a certain amount now, and then the rest is due over a course of time. But there's no interest on that.
Nothing.
The interest is, I guess, kind of built into the price and everything, but there's no interest on it. You don't have to worry about paying anything other than the exact number they give you right up front.
Correct.
So you can pay it over, I think, different amounts of time and shit like that. I'm not. You have the option to pay a portion of the price at checkout, but I think there are some instances where you don't have to pay anything or
$0,
nothing,
yeah.
and there's flexible payment options. There's no credit checks or anything like that. If you're starting your holiday shopping now, which you probably should, 'cause
Yes.
shipping delays and all that stuff. Usually, what we tell people. When I was at Black Rifle, we told people, and USPS and a couple of other organizations put this shit out, but if you absolutely want something guaranteed at your place by Christmas Day, typically you need to buy it by December 13th.
Almost killed that fly. Yeah.
It was close. So by December 13th, you need to make that purchase. This
Correct.
year, I would give yourself at least a 1 week buffer, if not two. So I'm talking about this week and next week is when you should be buying your presents to make sure they actually show up.
So it's funny you said that on Ross Patterson Revolution a couple days ago.
It's Zebit.com/DrinkerBros, by the way. Zebit, like debit with a Z.
Yes. And slash Drinker Bros.
Yep.
Yeah, Zebit.com/Drinker Bros. But on Ross Patterson Revolution the other day, I talked about this on Monday. It had dawned on me how close it was to Christmas because all the days blend together.
Yeah.
You know? And I went to Amazon because my mom had hit me up and she was like, "Hey, like I'm sending out some Christmas gifts for the kids. Just know that they're going to get there." And I was like, "Oh shit." She goes, "Don't forget to get them early." And I was like, "Dude." So sure enough, I went on Amazon to get the kids the gifts that they had asked for, and dude, it was like second week of December, the shipping. I was like, "Oh shit." So dude, if you're shopping out there, Go earlier this year. It's going to get wild. I mean,
If you haven't bought your shit by like the 8th of December, you're probably not going to get it before Christmas.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Did you guys have luck getting the Xboxes? What happened with that?
We got a PlayStation.
You did?
Yeah.
Did you get the new one?
Yeah, there's a PS5 in the back.
In the back right now?
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
What's how'd you guys end up getting that thing?
Asian dude off
Secondhand.
Craigslist.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I thought I was getting scammed too. So he made me Venmo him $50 as a down payment. And then he was like an hour and a half late. And so I tried calling him and it goes, the Google Voice subscriber you are trying to reach. And it's like, oh.
But he came through.
Yeah.
Came through. No shit. Where did he get?
Have you
Did
actually
ask him?
have you actually turned that thing on yet?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is it
where-
just like fucking anime or something?
Is
Like,
it
it's-
amazing?
Yeah. No, I'm not. That's not what I'm asking.
don't have
you.
any games
Do you
yet.
think he fucking built that thing at his home? Is what I'm asking you.
Oh, like a fake one?
Because he's Asian.
Oh, yeah.
Because we used to accuse my buddy,
It's quality craftsmanship if he did.
my buddy James, who is not even Asian. He's actually Native American, but he looked kind of Asian. So we always accused him anytime he would not be around. Like, what were you at home building PlayStations or something?
Yeah.
Which is probably. I mean, look, that's kind of racist, I guess. But he thought it was funny.
Ah, that's fine.
So I mean, Asian people don't care, and he's not even Asian. So
they're better humans than us, and they work
I-
better. I don't give a shit. I have no problem saying their race is superior to ours. I don't. But I'm surprised you guys were able to get your hands on it.
Yeah, I
there's
mean, we
been-
feel like it was a necessity to start playing with all the Drinking Bro gamers out there.
Yeah, because we're doing it. You guys are doing Twitch, right?
Yeah, we do Twitch. We're still taking requests on what games that you guys want to play first with us.
Great. Yeah,
Yeah.
hit us up in the comments section on YouTube and let us know what games you guys want to play. And Dan and the boys here will light you up. I don't know if fake Dan's any good. You any good?
Not a first-person shooters. Either is Giorgio.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, we're both terrible, but Dan's going to play some golf, some PGA Tour.
I'm good at golf. I'm good at all the golf games. I'm okay at first-person shooters. The more I play, the better I am. I don't really play that much anymore, but I've played quite a bit over the years. So,
If you want a chance to kill Dan Holloway, now's your chance to do it.
Yeah. We might-
Yeah.
maybe they're doing a new Mike Tyson game after his
Great.
fights. Maybe we get something back in on that.
Great. Next up, how badly does James Harden hate Donald Trump? Speaking of sports here,
Yeah.
the Houston Rockets star James Harden has reportedly turned down a record-setting deal in pursuit of a trade to the Brooklyn Nets. But the new reports indicate the real motivation behind wanting to leave is owner Tillman Fertitta, which is always a fun name.
it's the best name in all of sports.
Am I saying that right?
I have
Fake
no
Dan?
idea.
Fertata?
Fertitta? It's spelled Fertitta.
Fertitta?
Fertitta.
For his support of the Donald Trump administration.
You know what the funniest thing about this is, by the way? Hold on, I'm going to look it up. Keep reading this because I'm going to look this up. This is so funny.
Sources told ESPN on Monday that Harden turned down the chance to become the first NBA player to earn $50 million a year because of his interest in joining a team with a real chance of winning a championship. And he believes that it's the Nets, the Brooklyn Nets.
Yep.
But according to veteran NBA reporter Rick Bucher, the move is political. Bucher said, what I heard is what we know how much politics and political position had to do with the boycott and the protests during the bubble. I'm hearing that's the owner of the Rockets' strong Republican support and donations is one of the things that was contributing to his dissatisfaction. And the two of these guys, Russell Westbrook and James Harden, are not the only ones that want out of Houston.
Right.
The lesser players are in the same mind. So there's been a revolt behind the scenes against the owner who supports the current president.
Yeah, and this is for all the problems we have with media these days. Bucher and Woj don't miss. These
No.
are the two. Well, not the only two. There's some in baseball too. Like well, I guess Peter Gammon was one of them.
Tim
back in the day.
Kirchin.
Tim Kirchin is the real guy these
Yep.
days. But these guys don't miss. So this is. I can't imagine this not being true. Here's the really funny thing about this. It betrays the absolute ignorance of these motherfuckers that are trying to get involved in social justice and politics but have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. So this isn't even a political thing. This is from Open Secrets. 80% of all donations made by all sports team owners in all the six leagues went to Republicans. In the NBA, 85%.
Really?
Yeah, 85% of all the money that NBA fucking owners gave
Went to Republicans.
went to Republican candidates, including the president Jesus Christ, dude.
Man, so
It was 8.5 million to Republicans and 2.5 million to Democrats.
yeah, when I heard this story, $50 million for a player for the Rockets, especially with everything that's going on. Klay Thompson, about an hour ago, tore his Achilles. He's done for the year.
Right.
He had a torn ACL the year before. Take the money. Dude, forget who's paying you. Right?
Are we sure James Harden knows where he is half the time?
No.
More than half the time?
No. But here's the thing about $50 million. If you actually want to affect change, is there a better way to do it than to take the $50 million and then put it back into your own community? Like, to me, who gives a shit who's paying you? It's what you can do with that money, because trying to get that amount of money for any job in this world is so difficult that if somebody offers it to you, I don't give a fuck if it was Hitler's relative, you can still turn that money into something positive for your own community and then come out and speak out against it. Say, hey, you know what? I took this money, even if you fucking hated the owner of the Rockets and he was a hardcore Republican who loved Trump, you'd be like, you know what? I took his fucking $50 million and I used it all for Democratic events or whatever you wanted to do. No one's stopping you from how you spend that money, James. So if that's the case with all these stupid fucking idiots out there, you can always turn it and spend it on something else. The problem is you actually don't want to do that, and you don't put fucking money back into your own communities. But it sounds nice on the outside of like, oh, hey, man, voting for Trump, standing up for my people, whatever. No, dude, the best way to stand up for your people is to take that money and put it back in your own community.
Yeah, this is another guy that's been rich for a very long time.
Yes.
Kind of like LeBron, completely lost touch. Although I don't know what Harden's childhood was like, but he grew up in Bellflower, which is where like
California?
Yeah, which is where like Nomar Garcia Parra's from, Trevor Hoffman, Jeff Kent, a lot of athletes from there.
Yeah.
But also a lot of actors and actresses. This is not South Central LA. Right?
No.
He didn't grow up in the hood like some of these other guys did.
No.
So
He went to Arizona State.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Partied a bit.
Yeah.
Arizona State, I can promise you, all he did was fuck some of the hottest white women on the planet there at Arizona
Well, I don't know. He
State.
didn't have the beard back then, and I don't know if you've seen it without it.
I have.
It's not great.
But when you're a superstar in college, like
Still a lottery pick.
yes, dude. I saw. You remember Greg Oden from Ohio State, the center?
Yes, of course.
Well,
Him and Titus.
Well, here's the thing.
Our
So
boys.
I've met him a few times in real life.
Yeah.
Obviously, I love Ohio State, but he's one of the ugliest dudes I've seen in person. When he goes out to bars, still to this day, I saw him 2 years ago. He was swarmed by women, and it's just like, dude, that doesn't end. You being a superstar athlete with money doesn't end. Or if you're the best player at your college, you're gonna get pussy no matter what you look like. So with James Harden, beard or no beard, he absolutely mowed some trim at Arizona State. But again, the fucking Trump shit, take the money and do something else with it. I don't understand. That is the best way to change your situation or the situation for your community is to invest, spend the money, take the money. Even Lil Wayne, his whole shit with Trump, man. He was like, look, man, he sat down, he listened to me, he said he was going to invest $500 million in my community.
Right.
Why would I say no to that? The money is going to personally change shit, not the mindset.
yeah, and aside from the fact that almost every, aside from 20 owners out of the entirety of the 6 major sports in America and their ownership groups, only 20 of them have donated to liberals.
Yeah.
Or at least directly to liberals. Maybe they donated through organizations, PACs, and shit like that are offset. But it's really funny. And based on these reports, Fertitta is really, in at least in this year, let's see,
Isn't he cash poor though?
Yeah, it's like $105,000 or something like that, or $103,000 total. That's nothing.
Nothing.
You know how much Soros spent on the Hillary Clinton campaign? This is not one of those Soros conspiracy theories. This is like him spending money on like trying to get liberal judges, sheriffs, backing governors, and directly to the Hillary Clinton campaign and through her initiatives. Like $6 million of his own money or something like that. Shit, Bloomberg and Trump spend more than that of their own money trying to get themselves elected. You know what I mean? This $100,000 and that you're leaving $50 million on the table because of that. Really, I think it's an easy excuse for him. Like that's something that people will settle for.
I agree.
Not I'm quitting on this situation. Not I don't think this team's good enough to win. It's like he's trying to attach some nobility rider to his to make up for the cop out of just leaving and
Correct.
to go to a super team.
Yeah.
Because it's a bad luck to want to go play as much heat as Durant got for going to the Warriors. I mean, Harden should be getting that plus 10 right now because, you know, this is a little bit different. Like, let's be real. Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant versus Steph Curry, as great as he is, and Klay Thompson when he's healthy. Irving Durant win that battle.
Yes.
Most times.
Yeah.
Let's be real, right? So he's going to an even better team, probably. Especially now that Klay's out. I mean, this is definitely a better team.
The other fucked up thing about this story is that James Harden was making like $38 million a year. Before this, once he said he didn't want to play and he wanted to be traded, the Rockets, even for the bullshit that he said, came out and said, "Hey man, we'll max you out and give you another $12 million." It was like, what?
You
What
got to think,
fucking
though,
world?
this might be a ploy by Daryl Morey to get him to the Sixers. Lessen his value.
Maybe. Look,
Maybe. I don't
$50
think
million
Boucher would
you don't
be,
walk away from. I don't give a fuck who it is.
And Boucher's not going to get involved in that. I mean, he doesn't get fooled very often. But maybe, who knows? I mean, these guys like to play games.
Dumb. $50 million a year, take
I mean,
it.
you got to think that the Patriots ownership group had something to do with Antonio Brown's behavior in Oakland, right?
Yeah, the tampering. For
Right.
sure, yeah.
I mean, it seems likely that they were like, "Hey, why don't you just get yourself kicked off that team and we'll sign you?"
They probably produced that documentary he was doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, probably something stupid like that. Anyways,
Something dumb. Next up, we got boxofawesome.com, one of our sponsors, man. I want to give them a huge shout out. I got the new box last week, and I think I've subscribed to them now for like a year and a half. They just have the dopest shit on the planet, man. There was some glassware and things like that. Like, I was like, dude, you're really goddamn doing it every single time out. If you don't know what Box of Awesome is, you go there, you take like a little 5-question survey. They tell you what kind of man you are in this world. And then they send you boxes every single month. It's like $45. With the promo code Drinking Bros, you get 20% off your first box. It's great. Your wife is already ordering bullshit to the house. This is one of those things, man, where it's just like, it's just a cool gift for dudes that shows up once a month at your house. It's always different, and it's always something badass. Usually it's like, I don't know, $200 worth of shit in there.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're doing it, but I don't care, and I'm not going to stop it, certainly. So
I don't know either.
keep on sending it. I've not been disappointed yet in
No,
a
they
year
have
and a
a lot
half
of
by
cool
their
shit.
boxes. They got meat cleavers, fucking hatchets, whiskey decanters, glassware, anything for bars, cooking, all that shit for dudes. And it's shit that you would never go out and buy for yourself. It's great. And it just comes to your house every month. Got a boxofawesome.com, promo code Drinking Bros, gets you 20% off your first box. Once you have it, though, you'll get the subscription, and that's it. I felt the same way about the wine, about First Leaf. Jesus, man. It's amazing.
Yeah, First Leaf's the best.
Best. Next up, Troop Productions and Implications. We touched on this a little bit yesterday. The Trump administration has said this week they want to reduce the troop sizes even lower in both Iraq and Afghanistan by mid-January.
That's code for before
The inauguration.
Right. Let's be real about
So,
that.
by doing that, since we did chat about this a little bit yesterday, I want to ask you this. Let's say Trump comes out and do this, right? He does this. And hypothetical date, January 15th. The inauguration is usually the 20th or the 21st.
It'll be the 20th this year.
Is it because he wants to bring the troops home, or is it to make Biden look shitty of like, hey, man, you got to go back. Like, we're not doing this.
It's probably a little bit of both. I mean, Trump is a petulant guy, but one of the campaign promises he made was to get everybody out of the air. And he did some of the stuff he said he was going to do. A lot of the wall stuff is in place and it's being worked on. Of course, that's going to get immediately defunded now.
Correct.
That's what makes it stupid. As a president in the United States, you can't start a 30-year fucking plan. It doesn't make sense. It will not work. You have to start something you can accomplish in 3 to 5 years, because that's the only amount of time, even with 2 terms, you're going to be able to actually govern and be in charge of what's happening. Anyways, it's possible. Like I said, Trump's a petulant guy. He's feeling pretty butthurt right now, I would imagine.
Yeah.
I think he's starting to, if he hasn't already realized that none of this stuff is going to amount to anything, or at least they're not going to be able to prove it, even if you do
The
believe.
voting things, yeah.
Yeah. So, wouldn't be surprised to see him do petulant things, honestly. Generals and foreign policy experts have continued to suggest that we haven't met the criteria for withdrawal in either one of these countries.
I want to ask you a fucking gigantic hypothetical,
Okay.
because this is always something that us fucking dummy civilians always wonder. What would happen if you just picked up in the middle of the night and everyone left the Middle East?
There would be a huge power vacuum, and you would see. It's kind of like, I'm trying to think of a good metaphor. It's kind of like when you lay concrete and you have to give it time to cure, so the air will rise out of it and it'll solidify.
Or before some dickhead kids in the neighborhood write their name in it?
Right. Yeah. So you really need to consider that. I understand that it sounds callous to say, well, they just got to figure it out, but that's the reality of the situation.
Yeah.
These people need to have something to fight for. Right now, us being there is something to fight against. They need to fight for their own country. If they haven't been trained enough in the last 17 years, it's probably not going to happen, right?
I agree, but again,
Same with
I never
Afghanistan.
served, I never went over there, all that shit, right?
No,
So-
it's not going to happen. It's the idea that they haven't met the requirement to pull troops out of there. What was the goddamn requirement to send us over there in the fucking first place?
Exactly.
Because it certainly wasn't evidence.
Yeah.
There was no plan. If you can deploy people without a plan, you could probably bring them home without one too. You know what I mean? Fuck these other countries. I don't give a shit about these people.
Same. So I guess my question is, why not just pick up and leave and say, hey man, we did what we could for 17 years.
Right.
You're on your own and fuck it. I just I don't understand that element to it. And would Trump be a bad guy for doing it and just saying, hey man, go home to your families?
I don't think he would be a bad guy for doing it, but
Well, Biden said he would be, and so did was it Lindsey Graham? Was it Lady G the other day who really spoke out against it on the Senate floor and said, no, we're not gonna. That's irresponsible to do. Is to pull the troops out of there. We don't know what's going on. Blah 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 blah.
right.
Is it? And is that the worst idea? Where it's like, all right, man, after 17 years, like let's like the end of Forrest Gump when he just stops running.
Yeah. No, it's the so if somebody comes over to your let's say one of your neighbors comes over and asks to borrow your lawnmower, right? And weeks go by, they still have it. Their lawn is unmowed. At some point, you're going to go grab that lawnmower and bring it back home.
Right.
Or at least ask them what the fuck, right?
Yeah.
Well, we've been trying to do that since 2007.
Yeah.
What the fuck's the plan? Oh, we'll do a surge. We'll send everybody. Oh, cool. Stabilize the region while we were there. So what you're telling me is, if we send in 300,000 fucking people, we can govern the country. Sweet. No shit. You don't say. Because that ratio, the ratio of American troops in Iraq to Iraqi citizens was better than the ratio of sworn police officers to American citizens right now. So fucking of course we were able to do that.
Yeah.
But you can't sustain that unless you want to do that forever. You don't have a plan, at least not one that'll work. So you don't get to keep my shit. And by my shit, I mean my fucking people who are
Right.
deployed over there. Now, Crenshaw and Justin Amish.
Dan Crenshaw. Yep. And Justin Amish. Yeah.
Amish, I don't know how you say his name.
Yeah.
They're kind of in a heated exchange about what to do. Amish, obviously, being a libertarian guy.
He wants to pull everybody out, right?
Yeah, he wants everybody out of there. Crenshaw defends his position of keeping people there, saying that he said something like, my friends and I
know how dangerous
we
the
know
enemy
how
is.
dangerous the enemy is.
Yeah.
Like, sure, the enemy's dangerous. Got it. But they aren't the only danger. One. And two, deploying en masse to the Middle East is not the only solution, Dan. I'm not at all comfortable, and I don't really appreciate Crenshaw trying to use the memory of our fallen and our personal experiences in combat at large as some monolith opinion, like somehow all the veterans in the country as a monolith believe we should stay in Iraq or Afghanistan. I would challenge you to ask any combat veteran you know if they think we should stay there or leave. And I would expect 80% or so would say to get the fuck out.
Right.
Right? That's just typical officer think. And he's a complete political hack now. He's out there just talking about, all he talks about now is the difference between Republicans and Democrats. Like, oh, the Republicans are good, Democrats are bad. How is that worse than Orange Man bad? Or how is it better, rather?
Right.
It's absolute fucking nonsense. And he's like, yeah, you should just vote a straight Republican ticket. Let's keep the Republican Party strong. How about let's keep America fucking strong, bro? How about that? Jesus fucking Christ. I'm really done with this dude completely.
Yeah, because a lot of people were asking in the message boards what your opinions and thoughts are on them, and I think you just got it, kids.
Yeah, you did. Here's what else I think. I think that that on his part, that might just be a romanticism of his time in war, or maybe he's just become a hawk because of the things he's seen and the fact that he's an officer and not a grunt, to be frank. Even though he's a SEAL, I think that removing troops from the Middle East would immediately and significantly affect the stock market value of publicly traded companies that are part of the military-industrial complex. That's what I think. Raytheon, Boeing, General Dynamics, all these companies would lose money. They would, all these Congress people that have those businesses that build shit and make shit and service the wars want those jobs in their districts because it makes them look good. Plus they get, you can call it whatever you want. It's a kickback.
Yeah.
If somebody from one of those organizations is giving money to your PACs or your campaigns or your associated topics and you're doing shit that benefits them, that is a fucking kickback and you should go to prison for it. All of these motherfuckers, lobbying should be completely outlawed. So when they see job losses in states, obviously representatives have problems with that. Places like Virginia and Washington, where a lot of intelligence and aircraft assembly happens, obviously that's going to be a problem, right? That's why you see in issues, usually you will see pretty clear splits left and right. But here you're seeing Biden, Lindsey Graham, other people on the right saying keep people there, and you're seeing people that are tired of it saying, and it's not down party lines anymore.
Right.
This is the war is that one issue, and I think it's because of that. It's because of the special interest. I don't trust any of these motherfuckers.
Well, and this one in particular has been going on so long. I think I'd pose the question then to you: if you were president, right, in this situation, how do you get our troops out of there safely and in a timely fashion? Do you set a date, an end date to this?
No, I don't say shit to anybody, particularly not the governments of Iraq or Afghanistan. I find out what I need to either bring home or destroy in place. And I pack the shit I need to bring home and destroy in place. I need to destroy in place, get on planes and fucking roll out.
What would be the reaction if everybody just left? What would happen over there, you think?
I don't know. Maybe we should leave some cameras behind to see what happens. I mean, it would make a great reality show.
Well, at what point is it time to find out? I mean, for me, 17 years is enough. Like,
Yeah.
We've had enough. The Middle East hasn't changed for thousands of years.
No.
I don't see us coming in there with a few McDonald's to change what they fucking believe in, because it's all religion at the end of the day, right? And what you believe in these different cultures and countries.
It's more cultural than religion, but yeah, essentially it's tribalism is the same thing.
Yeah.
DG says as if it's that easy. It is. We did it in the Gulf War. You know how much shit we left over in Iraq and Kuwait in the Gulf War? Tanks, fucking thousands and thousands of M16s and M4s, fucking P92s, all kinds of shit we left over there. We just left it and fucking bailed. Right.
And that was one of the knocks on George Sr.
Yep.
was that he got out of there and didn't leave people, and that he lost the election, and you know, because he was at his highest. I think, if memory serves me correctly, that was the highest approval rating of a president after Iraq surrendered. And then it went away because he just fucking bounced, and they were like, well, if you would have kept the troops there, people might have stuck around and voted for you in a closer election, because there was some things at stake. But
no, it's funny. HW did the right thing. He used his special operations forces to accomplish the goal that they had set out on, and didn't allow the mission creep to happen. Mission creep is when you get into a situation and the environment changes and you get away from your original mission. It's like Vietnam, right? We sent over advisors to stop communism. All of a sudden, we're in a full-blown fucking war and 65,000 people are dead. The Harvard Crimson actually wrote, before the Gulf War began, this opinion piece, and it's called "Tales of a Wimp President."
was it a student?
It's from the Harvard Crimson, so yeah. It's one of their graduate students, I believe, that writes this stuff. Or not one of them, but I think they're all grad students. Anyways, it's like what's the comedy version at Harvard? I can't remember.
Lampoon.
Lampoon, yeah. Same thing. So George H.W. Bush, who was a fucking fighter pilot that got shot down in World War II, right? That was the deputy director operations for the agency, which is the most important job there. He was probably a NOC, like a non-official cover case officer or whatever you want to call that.
That's what Evan always said.
Or at least whatever the early days of the Special Activities Division is. Then he was the director of the CIA, then the vice president, and now he's the president. And they're referring to this man as a wimp. Probably not, right? Maybe he just had been in fucking war and he knew how fucked it was and what there's implications that happen after war that you cannot understand before it happens, right? In the same way that there's a peace that's only known on the other side of bloodshed, there are problems that come with that, and you can't always anticipate them. So I truly believe he knew that. And he was like, you know what? We're not doing this, man. We're not going to fucking go to war with the entire Middle East. He made a really good decision. And then his dumb son allowed Dick Cheney to trick him into doing it.
Right.
A couple years later, 10 years later. So whatever.
It's strange because I always look to the Middle East like, all right, what do they have there besides oil? Right. And now it appears as if America has enough oil. We really don't need the Middle East.
Well, the problem with Afghanistan is rare earth minerals, right? So things that go into these little batteries that go in these phones.
Is that what it is?
There's a lot of it there.
No shit.
Latin Africa too.
Well, I knew Africa, but I didn't know about the Middle East.
Yep.
So is that why we stay in Afghanistan, where it's like, hey man, let's keep all this shit because we need to build chips for iPhones?
Yeah.
No shit. I did not know that.
Mexico too, right?
Yeah.
Right where those Mormons were.
Yep.
Right outside that.
Oh, yes. Yes,
Mermaids,
you're right. Yeah.
That's probably why they get lit up, to be honest.
A lot of people have speculated that. Yeah, I remember that. Because it was such a strange story. You were like, hey, man, why did that whole fucking family get lit
Probably
up
because
like
they're
that?
moving in Chinese companies there to tap up all that lithium.
Fuck, man. We get deep today. We get real goddamn deep. Why not? Who gives a shit? Everybody's at home. Let's
it was McConnell that was not Lady G.
Oh, it wasn't Lady G. It was Mitch
Yeah.
McConnell. It was Cocaine Mitch.
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
He grew a pair. Did he serve? I don't think he did.
I doubt it.
Cocaine
I don't,
Mitch?
I don't think there are turtles in the military. Old gay turtle. He's got to be gay too, right?
You know, it's a tough one to figure out. I always say it on the show, like he's got that voice. I'm not gay. I'm just from Atlanta.
Right.
So I can't tell. I'm not gay. I'm just from Atlanta.
Yeah.
I don't know with Cocaine Mitch what he is.
It's hard to tell.
Hard to tell.
This idea, by the way, from Crenshaw, in principle, it's not the worst idea. The idea that we need satellite outposts around the world to monitor things and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's what the fucking State Department's for, bro. This is not the job of the fucking U.S. military to be positioned all over the world. This is Cold War bullshit. It's the same. Like, why do we have bases in goddamn Germany? Why?
Yeah.
In Italy? Why? London? Like that Air Force base there. Why? What's the point of any of this shit? What's the point of NATO existing if we have to deploy our own resources there? Right?
Yeah, it's strange. Jesse's brother, my wife's brother, was stationed in Italy.
Yeah.
And so
France.
she loved
Italy.
going over there to visit because she got to Italy.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It's like, what's going on over there?
Yeah, I mean it's cool to get stationed there, I guess, but that idea that we have to have satellite outposts in places like Syria just to monitor what's going on with troop deployments, no,
Yeah.
nope, sorry, no, that's not okay. You can't just keep people at war into perpetuity because of that. I'm sorry. That's just not going to work for us. And I don't know why he's arguing this shit in the first place when it's a minor withdrawal from both places. He's just trying to stay on his hawkish path. And you could see it. Watch what's happening on the Republican side in politics, particularly in Senate right now, but also in the House. All these people who have been sucking Trump's dick for the last 3 years are now trying to put some distance between them and him. And it's because facts don't matter.
Right.
Optics matter, sound bites matter. That's it. These people are completely full of shit. Anybody that would engage in this kind of behavior and not take a much more nuanced stance on it than what Crenshaw's taking right now, I don't have anything to say to people like that, to be honest. You don't get to fucking trade my life for whatever the fuck little ideas you have, bitch. If you want to fucking suit up again, go suit up again and take your ass over there. Stop sending our people over there until there's some fucking purpose that you can explain to me for why my friends are going to goddamn die, then get the fuck out of here with that bullshit.
Yeah, it's a strange one because again, what is left at this point to stay there? I don't understand.
We're basically protecting ourselves from the people in that country right now.
Yes.
Sweet.
So
Great idea, guys.
while the rest of us are at home enjoying Thanksgiving and Christmas with our families, they're just over there, and it's hard to say what reason for. Our next up sponsor is liquidiv.com. This is the best in the biz right now. Drink a pouch of this every fucking morning to wake up. It is always on RPR, and you're drinking every goddamn day. Here it is. It's just a fucking, there we go. Boom, here it is.
Yeah.
Just a little pouch. You get it. You pop it open. It is just a little paper tray. Oh, we've drank all of them. Holy shit. That's hilarious.
Yeah, there's
they're all
some.
gone.
There's a bunch in there.
We got a
Actually.
million of them, but I love that we've drinking all of these fucking things.
Drinking's not a word.
It is.
No.
We're drinking, dude. We're drinking, bros, and we're drinking. There it is, Papa G. Come on in.
25% off. Damn.
Pop your head in. Say hello. There's Giorgio.
I didn't realize it was 25% off.
It is 25% off with promo code Drinking Bros. This is it. You just rip it open and pour it into any liquid available. It'll double hydrate you. So what happened to me was I was rocked at a holiday party. Maybe 3 years ago, my buddy Nick's house. Shout out to the Godfather, Nick Levesque. I was at his house, and I went over the next day. I was feeling rough, and he had a whole pouch full of these goddamn things. And he got them from Sam's Club or Costco or something like that. And he goes, dude, pour one of these in your water. You're good to go on that hangover. Fucking 20 minutes later, I was right as rain, and I was like, oh, shit. So then I kept drinking them, and then I finally reached out to the company, and I was like, hey, it would be rad if you were a sponsor, but I don't know if you guys do this. So the beauty of Liquid IV and us, yes, you can buy it at Sam's Club or Costco, but if you buy it online, you get 25% off with the promo code Drinking Bros. Everybody who's had this, our listeners, swears by it. I am all in on this. I would buy this fucking company if I could, but they are too rich for us now, and it's fine. I understand. Go to liquidiv.com, 25% off with the promo code Drinking Bros. If you're starting off your day, this is it. Just trying to get some water in you. I hate the taste of like normal water, so I always put something in it. It is Liquid IV when I wake up. It is a hydration multiplier. So that way I only have to drink like, half the water per day because I don't feel like carrying a fucking jug around like I'm some juice head in the gym.
Gotta get that gallon, Ross.
No,
Gotta get that
Giorgio,
gallon.
I do not do it.
I'm gonna start bringing one to work.
I cut it in half with
I'll do it
Liquid
too.
IV. Yeah.
Oh, let's shame him. Let's bring we'll be
both
gallon
you
buddies.
Fucking
If you'd start bringing
Juice heads.
gallons of water into work, I will put poison inside of it and waterboard your ass to death.
Oh, I thought you'd put bullets in our body.
No,
no.
those are expensive.
Dan's
Poison's
long
cheap.
game. Long game for Dan.
Poison is cheap.
Next up, speaking of poisons, these guys should be poisoned. Another child trafficking ring goes down. This one was in Florida. Tallahassee Police Department announced Tuesday that a 2-year investigation into human and child sex trafficking led to the arrest of 178 individuals. That is a monster number. This story is not being reported anywhere whatsoever right now.
No.
But we will. Operation Stolen Innocence was devised with the goal of rescuing a young Florida teenager. The investigation uncovered an enormous amount of electronic evidence that required months to evaluate. The department wrote in a press release, and that electronic evidence helped investigators further develop the case and determine how many suspects involved and to what extent. The Special Victims Unit venture was probably the largest of its kind in the history of our country, with 106 people charged with felonies and 72 others charged with misdemeanors. The young girl who had been found in an online sex for pay ad helped investigators with their effort to bring the defendants to justice. And it's a massive story that no one is talking about.
No, it was actually, I found it on Fox's website, but it was way
Buried,
down the
yeah,
list. This is a way bigger deal than whomever the president is. Protecting children from predators is probably more important than either one of these dumb political parties or candidates or whatever the fuck.
Correct. But it gets little to no press. And I'm not sure why. When we had Craig Salman Sawyer on, the weirdest part about that, because he works with all of these groups to help break up human and child sex trafficking. The weirdest thing was when we were off air, I was like, dude, I don't understand why you have to fight for airtime. And he goes, man, nobody wants to talk about this shit.
No, it's uncomfortable. I think a lot of people are worried about who's involved in it, to be honest. Same thing that's happening in Hollywood right now. Everybody's real quiet about that. If I was someone in Hollywood, if I was an actor or whatever, and this stuff started to pop up, or I had seen things like Weinstein, who allegedly has COVID in jail now.
He's almost dead, according to TMZ.
They're trying to get him out, is what's happening. But even if he dies, who gives a shit? But
who cares?
If anybody that witnessed all that shit or the sexual harassment and assault over the years and never said anything, fuck you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're a coward piece of shit. And to be honest, I don't understand how you can wake up or go to sleep at night without wanting to blow your fucking brains out.
Me neither,
I mean,
man.
You got to be a real piece of shit to turn your eyes away from shit like this. All these motherfuckers that had all these suspicions about Epstein and Clinton and all this stuff that was going on back then and didn't say or do anything.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah, dude. Again, if everybody just comes out and talks about this, right, and outs all these motherfuckers, then it doesn't become a story anymore. Because then it doesn't exist, and then you're so afraid of getting caught that you won't do shit like this in the future. And
like, imagine if we came down as hard on people who fuck children as we did on people who say tranny. For example.
Yeah.
Right? Seems like one's probably a little bit worse than the other. It's hard to say. But if you are suspected of doing shit with underage kids by your group of people, clearly, demonstrably, the last 20 years, we could say that they will keep that secret and never say a goddamn word. But if you vote Republican, they will fucking beg to get you canceled. They will do whatever's in their power to get you blackballed. This is the fight we have in front of us, folks. I don't mean left versus right or any of that bullshit. I'm talking about people who are full of shit. Don't be one of those people who are full of shit, please. Apply the same standard to yourself and others. Apply the same standard to things you agree with, to things you don't agree with. Your agreement is not required to certify a fact. That is not how that works. The fact is the fact, bitch.
And one of the most interesting parts of this story was the number that is involved in human trafficking.
Just in the United States.
Just in the United States, it's $150 billion.
Yeah, well, that's global. That number's global. 50,000 people are trafficked for sex each year in the United States.
Right.
50,000 people in the United States every single year.
But the fact that it's
More
a $150 billion global enterprise, like, I had no fucking idea, man.
No. And that's why all these organizations, I mean, obviously Sawman helps out. There's Operation Underground Railroad. A lot of those guys do good stuff. The government, by and large, has done virtually nothing.
Nothing at all.
So, I mean, if you wonder, if you're sitting around...
Because most people in government, I guarantee you, if this Ghislaine or Ghislaine or however the fuck we pronounce her name, if it came out, half of them would be politicians on both sides. Not,
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's from... I assume, I don't think we've uncovered this 100% yet, but I assume that the Epstein organization was a lot like how Scientology works, where they try to find out shit about you or get you to do shit and then blackmail you for having done it.
They were. Right? So all of it was on camera, and that's what's when they went through that house, that little St. James Islands, they went through. There was cameras in every single room, including the bathrooms, showers, all that other shit. So the rumor is that everyone who was there, they have every stitch of footage from what they did there to bedrooms, to bathrooms, showers, and all that shit, which is why nobody ever went in on somebody else, because, it was like Scientology, where they have the fucking evidence.
Yeah.
Scott Riley just threw you a 20 spot and said, for Booze and Mary Jane for the cruise. Thanks for the podcast. Absolutely, dude. We're fucking here every day. We're every day with this shit. Next up, gonorrhea infections have increased in Michigan.
It's a hard pivot.
Isn't it? That's a tough transition. But I think I made it well. I don't want to yank my own dong, but I am here. By the end of October, cases of gonorrhea, the sexually transmitted disease, had surpassed those reported in 2019. The Detroit News reported, citing the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. Last year, an estimated 18,264 gonorrhea infections were reported in Michigan. The state this year is on track for a 22% increase in infections.
Should we do 22 push-ups for gonorrhea in Michigan? Giorgio's doing push-ups now.
Cock push-ups? Yeah.
The uptick in cases is, quote, even more alarming as it is likely an underestimate because people aren't getting tested as much for stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Which is pretty funny. Do you think this is in any way related to the performances of Michigan and Michigan State in college football? I mean, gonorrhea colloquially is known as the clap.
Correct.
They've had nothing to clap for in that state for some time now.
No. And they're not going to for a while either. I mean, they still have the Lions.
Well, they're shutting down all high school sports anyways, right?
Correct, yeah.
And, yeah, there's no good sports teams. The only one that even has a great player on it at all, in my opinion, is it's Blake Griffin, right?
Yeah.
And he's going to get traded, you would think. Probably now to the Warriors, especially since they lost Clay for the year.
And I don't see Jim Harbaugh being at Michigan anymore after this year.
No, he's going to have to find a new Costco to buy his pants at, I think.
Yeah.
Somewhere in a different part of the country, probably back in California or something. We'll see. I don't know. This is pretty funny. I wonder how.
I know why this is.
Gonorrhea?
Yeah.
Is it
100%?
Is it college kids? What is it?
No, it's COVID. So what's happening is people are.
They're wearing masks but no condoms?
Yes. And so when you're cuffing, like let's compare it to cuffing season at this point, right? If you and your partner have gonorrhea at this point, you're not going to stop, and then you have nowhere to go. So you're just going to keep fucking, and that you're going to live with the gonorrhea and say, all right, man, we're going to suck this up and get gonorrhea together. It's kind of like COVID, where it's like, hey, man, if you got COVID, we're going to get this together, and that's it. We're going to herd immunity this shits. So with gonorrhea, dude,
Is there herd immunity for gonorrhea?
Maybe. But I will say this. With Tinder and everything else that's going on during the age of COVID, you're taking what you can get.
Yeah.
Giorgio can speak on this a little more. You had to get tested for COVID because of a Tinder hookup.
True, but, just thankful for those rapid tests now because I wasn't going to wait a few days.
No.
So, I mean,
not. And, we don't care here, obviously. So
Exactly.
Except for Fake Dan. But
pre-existing condition.
Yeah.
I don't know why people are still so alarmed by STDs. Like it's not.
Have you had one?
No, I've never. I have no idea how.
Yeah, I don't get tested, so
Mitch Hedberg used to say that he did the roundabout AIDS test, which is where he just asked all of his friends if they knew anybody that had AIDS, and when they say no, he's like, "Well, you know me, so guess I'm safe." No, I don't know how I've never, to be honest, because I've not been very responsible, and I'm not gonna start now because I've got fucking 25 years of evidence that I don't need to be.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying that's how it works.
I was the same way, by the way. Like,
let's say you went over to somebody's house and their kid had a cold and you had a cold. Like, oh, of course.
Yeah.
That's how that works.
Yeah.
You fuck somebody and you get gonorrhea, which, by the way, you get a fucking, I'm looking up right now, you get a single shot and then you take a Z-Pack, basically.
Right.
And that's it.
Right.
I mean, it sucks, I guess.
But it's over, yeah.
Even the ones that last forever, like AIDS and herpes, you can't die from that shit anymore. I mean, you could never die from AIDS or from herpes, but you can't die from AIDS anymore. What's the other one that Napoleon had that rots your brain?
Yeah.
Starts syphilis.
Syphilis.
Yeah, syphilis can be dangerous, but you could tell. Just get a shot too. That one goes away. It's not.
That's just 2 pills.
But herpes and AIDS
it's
is like
pills.
Syphilis is pills, yeah.
Herpes and AIDS is kind of like having a kid, though, because you can only date people with herpes and AIDS.
Maybe. I think there's actually AIDS is kind of a form of cancer, right? That's what we originally thought it was when it first started popping up. It was like, if this is some new form of cancer,
I did not know
what
that.
the fuck is happening here, and it degrades very specifically your T cell count, your white blood cells and shit, so your immunity goes away, right? That's what it does. So it's immunity cancer. It's kind of like how leukemia is blood cancer, I guess.
Right.
Anyways, there are treatments now that seem to make finding a positive test of HIV or AIDS in somebody that has even full-blown AIDS is difficult now. Like Magic Johnson's one of those guys.
Yeah.
It is. They have to test him multiple times over the course of several weeks to even tell he's got it anymore, which probably means he's only contagious, if you want to call it that, during those times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Plus, there's farmersonly.com. You know what I mean? You can find the most niche person you're looking for. I'm sure there's plenty of hot chicks on all these. There's like a ton of AIDS websites where you can go find.
Yeah, we talked about this last week. Bug chasers.
people to
Yeah, I don't know why you guys are worried about herpes. Like HPV is a female disease.
It seems like you
Like,
have it.
guys don't get that.
It seems like you have that.
No, we've all been like, it's conditioned to believe it's scary. Like guys don't get herpes.
Well, there's a
Just
lot
like
of
it's-
there's a lot of people that have
only
HPV.
women do. Like it's yeah.
There's
Look it up.
A lot of people have type 1, but like when people say 4 out of 5 people have been exposed to X, Y, or Z,
Yeah.
they're talking about like cold sore herpes.
Right. That's
not genital
yeah.
herpes.
That's Gen 1 or
Yeah.
type 1, not type
Yeah.
2.
I thought
yeah.
I thought I had it once, and it turned out it was an ingrown hair for the pubes, obviously. But I didn't know, and I was freaked out, and I went to my doctor.
Herpsonly.com.
Yeah. No. I actually went into the doctor and said, "Hey, man, level with me. Is this herpes?" And he was like, "No, it's an ingrown hair." And he goes, "Do you know how hard it is for?" He said the same thing. "You know how hard it is for a dude to get herpes?" And I was like, "Is it?"
Yeah, people don't want you to know that, but like doctors will let you know that. Like, it's really a thing for women.
Yeah. Girls get that shit.
Right. They get like cancer from it, like cervical cancer in a way.
Yeah. Look, we're not only doing a podcast today, we're also educating you, and you're welcome for that. This is a masterclass that'll be available.
Basically, what
on
I'm saying is that
Facebook.
men are clean and women are dirty, and we're fine. So stick your dick wherever you want.
No, Giorgio, you are an absolute dirtbag, and I wouldn't trust anyone with you.
Fair.
And I say that in a great way. I say that in a lovingly way. Last but not, no, we're still rocking today. Fuck yeah, we're just gonna keep going. Who gives a shit? Amazon sues influencers for alleged Instagram and TikTok counterfeit scheme. Amazon alleges that influencers Kelly Fitzpatrick and Sabrina Kelly Crazy, there's a lot of Kellys in there. They've got to be white girls. Participated in the scheme by using Instagram, TikTok, and other of their own websites to promote counterfeit luxury goods sold by the other defendants. Together, they engaged in a sophisticated campaign of false advertising for the purpose of evading Amazon's counterfeit detection tools. There we go. I know what this is, by the way. I get this on my Instagram, but it's verified. You know, I've got the blue check mark, and they're like, "Hey, would you like to work with us?"
Yeah.
And they put that, "Let's collab," and they put it in like on your comment things or whatever. And if you click it, it's usually like some fake product that they're trying to sell off as being awesome.
It's like
and
Wish.com
not.
stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like
dude.
weird Chinese knockoffs of.
Yes.
Like it's very clearly a knockoff. Like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
But they set up all these social media sites set up different kind of filters to be able to detect that stuff, and Amazon did as well to be able to detect them on their site. If somebody as a seller is putting shit on Amazon that's fake shit, because they'll get sued for it. Amazon will. There's no Section 230 protection when you're an e-commerce site and you're allowing people to sell stolen goods.
Yeah.
Like you're still liable for that.
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
do something
yeah,
about it. So. Amazon set up protections, and in partnership with these other companies, which is actually a good point, set up like, hey, if you could do this, this, and this, if you block these things on your site, if you're capable, we can prevent you sending traffic to these fake sites, right?
Right.
So that's what these people were doing. They were massaging the language using like, they would use side-by-side photos of the real product next to the generic product, but not tell you which one's which.
Right.
They weren't trying to hide which one's which. They posted them as the same product, basically. Like, here's one side of it, and here's the other side, but the other side is my fake product. So they
Sure.
would steal pictures from their websites and do all this other shit. And then they were posting basically sponsored posts on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all over the place. Back to these people, and they found out that during the investigation that they actually worked together on that. By they, I mean these Instagram influencers or these influencers and the counterfeit companies. That's the problem. Like if somebody just reached out to you and said, "Hey, I want you to promote my product," and you try to promote it on Instagram or whatever, and it turns out to be fake, and they get caught, you're like, "Oh, it's my bad," and they'll remove your posts and shit, but you're not gonna get fucking arrested for it. You have to be involved in the conspiracy to get charged. Or to get sued, rather. So, man, this seems like a really sophisticated plan. Do you realize, this is a serious question, do you realize how smart you have to be to actually get away with digital crime in general, but particularly against tech companies who have unfettered access to literally all of your data? Every move you make on all of their collective sites, they can track. and you think you're going to get away with shit like that?
You know,
Are
look,
you out of your goddamn mind? They probably used Google email to fucking set this shit up.
yeah, but there is a surprising amount of fake shit on Amazon.
Oh, there's
still.
a ton, yeah.
And I have been fooled on Facebook shit where it was like, hey, buy this thing that was you thought was real, and then it wasn't real, and it gets shipped to your house. Some foreign labeling from China or whatever it is, and you're like, fuck, is that what I ordered? It's not what I thought that I ordered, you know?
Yeah.
And it's cheap as shit, and it's terrible. I think we've all been fooled by it. I think it's only going to continue to happen. I remember when we had that sneaker guy on the show a couple years ago. Fake Yeezy Busta.
Yeezy Busta, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, Yeezy Busta.
It was at the Super Bowl.
We had him on at the Super Bowl. You know who that is?
No, but I had so many fake Yeezys. Basically, you guys are really underestimating people's willingness and need for fake drip.
Yes.
They need that fake Louis. They
Yep.
need to stunt on people, and they cannot afford it.
I understand.
By any means.
I understand all that, right? But there is a lot of sites like eBay and everything else, right, where it's just like, dude, it looks like an Air Jordan. It's not an Air Jordan. It's a fake Jordan. It's all this shit is fake.
Yeah, and now these TikTok stars who are famous for no reason are slanging fake shit.
Correct, because they're getting paid a fuck ton of money. So it's
Exactly.
like, you know, I
Hate the
understand
player,
it.
don't hate the game.
I'm surprised they got
Or
caught.
other way.
I'm surprised they got caught. By the way, Chris Johnson hit us up and he says, I work 7 days a week. You guys are all that keeps me and my dad going, dude. Cheers. Threw you 20 spot for booze and for booze only, he says.
I'm buying drugs with it, so. It's too late now, motherfucker. I'm actually going to use it just for sinning.
Sinning?
Whatever sinning I can think of. I'm going to buy some acid probably with that. And I'm going to fucking make a video of myself.
Is that technically a sin?
We don't hear the
I
word sinning enough in this life, I don't think.
Can we name all the sins?
the
There's
seven deadly ones?
Yeah, could we? Could we?
I mean, it's if you've
I
seen
mean, Dan could,
If you've
but-
seen the movie Seven, you should be able
Yeah,
to.
you
right?
should be able to.
Oh, true, okay.
What's in the box? What's in the box?
Is
Great
anybody
movie.
going to attempt to do it, or are we just going to move on? from
Gluttony,
Gluttony, sloth.
it? Okay.
sloth, and there's 5 others. Father, we don't have the time. We don't have the time for that because we're here for fake news and fake news only.
Envy. Pride.
Pride, obviously.
Jealousy.
Jealousy, yeah.
No, that's envy, right?
Envy is jealousy.
yeah.
Reverse cowboy. That's
I don't think that one's on there. I think
it should be.
I think lust is though.
Should
so
be, yeah.
that could be
Yeah.
reverse cowboy.
yeah, reverse cowboy. We know all of these things.
Rage?
Obviously.
No, but wrath is
Wrath,
one.
yeah,
it's
that's one.
close.
Yeah.
And then laziness, sloth, whatever you call it.
Sloth.
Yeah, sloth. Yeah,
we
I
said
call that
that.
one.
Yeah.
Sloth
But
and gluttony
sloth-
in your mind. So
I think
yeah.
I get 6 out of 7 pretty quickly.
And pride was the other one. So, sloth was a character in some movie though, wasn't he?
Goonies. Big fan.
I've never seen it.
Really? God, that's what Jesse said the other day too.
Yeah, I wasn't allowed to watch things like that growing up, and I don't think that if I watched them now, it would do anything. For me,
It's a great film. It still holds up. It still holds up. I can promise you.
It holds
that.
up because you saw it when you were a child. That's the only way.
No, there's movies that I've seen as an adult that I liked as a child that I do not like anymore. One of them was Labyrinth. I just watched that the other day, and I'll probably get
Labyrinth
killed for that.
with,
online. David Bowie.
Jennifer Connelly.
Yes, Jennifer Connelly.
She was like fucking 16 at the time.
Jennifer Connelly in Career Opportunities was the hottest fucking woman on the planet. At that
She's
time.
a very attractive young lady.
When she's on that pony,
She's 50, but
now she's 50, but she's still attractive. She's married to Paul Bettany, by the way.
oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I like him.
So do I.
Paul Bettany is Jarvis.
Yeah, and he's also an absolute rager, dude. He
Yeah, I've
parties with
heard that,
Johnny
yeah.
Depp. He was in that deposition because he was on the text messages.
Do you think
Johnny
anybody
Depp
made
and his wife?
You think anybody made a pun joke about deposition for Johnny Depp?
No, they didn't actually.
I did in my brain just now.
I would have slapped someone very hard. If
Yeah, and they didn't. They didn't. Next up, the
By the way, Jennifer Connelly, if you really want to dig in and see some cool shit about her, there's better movies than that, like Requiem for a Dream, for example.
oof. But here's the thing: because of what happened to her, it is hard to think about her sexually in Requiem for a Dream.
What do you mean? What happened to her?
The end scene in Requiem for a
Ass
Dream.
to ass.
Yes, dude, that was fucking brutal. And you know who's standing? You know who paid for it and is standing over them laughing as they're going ass to ass with that dildo in the middle of all those dudes? Is
forget.
Keith David, dude, from Range 15.
Yeah, he played me in Range 15. Yeah.
Yeah, he played Colonel Holloway in Range 15. It's brutal. I can't. That movie, by the way, since we're talking about it, we don't give a shit anymore. COVID's shutting down everything. You probably don't have any entertainment. Let's just keep talking. That movie was on a list of top 10 movies that you watch once and appreciate and never watch again. And for me, Requiem is number one.
Yeah.
I've never watched that
All
movie
these
since
movies,
the
Pi.
Pi was, I think, a little harder to watch than Requiem for a Dream, but definitely Pi. Shit, man, I don't know.
There was one.
I guess Memento is another one. That's I feel like after you watched that the first time and you knew that the scenes were shot in reverse order like that.
Well, this one was more or less of like, how fucked up was it that you just never wanted to watch it again? Like, that one for me, Requiem for a Dream, was just, I felt so awful at the end of that movie that I was like, I need
Did
to take
he
a shower.
do Mother too?
You
Aronofsky.
talking about David Lynch?
No, Aronofsky.
Darren Aronofsky.
I forget.
Producer.
But I haven't seen Mother yet.
Yeah, he did do Mother. He directed Mother.
Yeah.
What's Mother?
Yes.
Is that about Mike Pence?
No, it's about Mike Pence's wife.
Nailed it.
Jennifer Lawrence is in that with Benicio.
Oh, I love The Wrestler, Black Swan.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah,
Look, he's
sure.
great. He just makes fucked up movies.
When
Kids
Mickey
was,
Rourke shoves his hand in that meat slicer.
Kids was on that list too, where it was just like, you watch it once, you can't go back and watch it.
Yeah,
again.
because Homegirl's got AIDS. So
Yeah.
it's not exciting.
No, dude, it's
You know
awful.
what I mean? Like
And
after-
that end scene.
Yeah, where he's pounding her, and I'm obviously pounding off that whole time. When Kids came out, it was what, 95, I think.
Yeah.
And I'm 14 at that time, so my dick is being punished on a daily basis, and I don't even mean I'm not being nice to it, is what I mean.
No, exactly.
So that scene, then I blast all over, like cats and dogs are covered in cum, right? And I had to clean that mess up. But before I did that, I had to face the reality of my circumstance, which is I'm pounding off to this woman giving this dude AIDS.
yes.
And
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
That's where I stopped believing that AIDS was real.
She tried to tell, was it Tully or
Tully,
whoever it
yeah.
was? Yeah.
He only likes
Or
to fuck
Ghost.
virgins.
Yeah, exactly. The virgin surgeon.
Yeah, but
I'll never forget that dude.
yeah, but she had AIDS.
She dates. It was Chloe Sevigny, I believe.
Sevigny,
whatever.
If you want me to pronounce your name right, get a fucking better name.
Yeah, just go ahead and respell that. And if you're looking for a more graphic sex scene of her, check out Brown Bunny.
Oh yeah, she
Ooh.
sucks homeboy's dick.
Yeah, for real.
And it's a real blowjob on screen, and her entire agency dropped her after that movie.
People
and
cared
everything.
a lot about that.
I didn't.
I didn't either, but like later when I learned about it,
a
I was
ball-
like,
it was a-
why did the industry do that?
No,
They
it was
really
crazy. It was crazy.
I don't know. He had a pretty decent hog on him though.
He did.
I mean, it wasn't huge or anything, but it was a good size fucking piece of
Vincent's,
meat.
shit, I used to see him all the time.
What is his name?
I forget his
I'll look
last
it
name,
up.
but it was Vincent something. Just look up the director of Brown Bunny.
Vincent does something or some shit like that.
Not D'Onofrio.
No, not him.
No. Vincent Gallo.
Vincent
Gallo, yeah.
Nailed it. Nailed it. There
And
we
that
go.
other fucking weird ass movie he was in with
He's weird in real life too, by the way.
what's the name of that movie he was in with God, I can't remember the actress's name. Fuck. She's another like young blonde actress that he made some fucked up movie with. Hang on, I'll look it up.
Yeah, look it up. And then the Buffalo movie about the kicker.
That's it, Buffalo 66.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, with that was great.
What the fuck's her name?
I actually enjoyed that film. Brown Bunny, I hated except for the blowjob scene at the end.
Yeah, I've never actually seen Brown Bunny,
the
but I've seen that
dumbest shit of all
blowjob scene
time.
6,000-7,000
I know.
times.
I
I'm not
know.
gonna lie.
It's great.
If I could watch anybody have sex with anybody else, particularly people that I know or know who they are, I'm gonna watch that. I don't care who it is.
Yeah.
Christina Ricci?
Ricci, yeah.
Yeah, Ricci.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ricci. Yeah, she was in that. Last but not least, here on the fake news, the bigger super spreader events, the Million MAGA March or the Biden celebrations. Tough one to say here.
Yeah.
A lot of people are wondering how science works lately.
Yeah.
Is COVID less problematic after 10 p.m.? If not, why are the bars being closed? Obviously, none of this hysteria is rooted in any science at all. It's just a runaway government trying to impose its authority on people. But NBC, which is, I would say, the paragon of
Yeah,
media virtue. I remember this story was, it was Lester Holt who ripped the MAGA March as a super spreader event and that we should be mad at it. But he conveniently avoided the Biden victory crowds in New York and LA and other cities and the BLM protest.
Yeah.
Lester Holt questioned whether the deaths of more than 250,000 people give permission to be angry at super spreader events. Meanwhile, the network has been broadcasting images from last weekend's Million MAGA March in Washington, which obviously supported President Trump. gathered to protest the results of the presidential election, and a photograph of Notre Dame fans who stormed the field after beating Clemson, which they should have. Look,
Yeah.
it's kids and
Who
parties.
cares?
Who cares? It wasn't just a Biden victory parties filled with supporters, but some elected officials like that alien from Chicago. What is her name?
Lori Lightfoot
There
or
it
some
is,
shit like
Lightfoot. Yeah, and Chuck Schumer. All of these guys have been seen out in the streets without masks, drinking champagne after Biden won.
that. Right, yeah. Around thousands of people.
Yes. Why do you get to choose?
Like these are the same cunts that are telling you not to fucking go have Thanksgiving dinner with your family.
Yep.
But they're doing that, but at a place that costs $400 a person, right?
Yeah.
And then they're out on the streets to celebrate. So it's again anybody that applies a standard, particularly a safety standard to you, that they will not apply to themselves, means the safety standard is not real.
Mm-hmm.
That is what that means. Again, it's increasingly difficult to take any of these people fucking seriously. To be
At all.
honest. It's like a big joke now. It's almost like how America feels about its politicians now the same way that high school students felt about their class president.
That's
Like
where we're at.
This is ridiculous. Just shut the fuck up and mind your goddamn business, dude.
It is going to continue. So as this goes on, as the new president comes in and everything else, like the media will be slanted the exact opposite way as it has for the last 4 years. Nothing is going to change, and the division is only going to be bigger.
Yeah.
It just depends on who's in control of the media and the stories, and whether or not you believe them, which is why these alternative social apps. We're talking about Parler and Rumble.
Yeah.
These guys are starting to grow, but it's still far away. To be honest with you, man, you still need patience with new sites. Nobody's going to come in and just knock it out of the park.
Yeah, there was. Hang on, let me see if I can find this. Did you see that Putin had a coughing fit on live TV the other day?
Yeah.
And now the Kremlin's having to deny he's got COVID. And he probably
does.
does.
Yeah,
Cares.
he's going to be fine. Trump was fine.
He's the richest dude of all time.
And they claim to have the cure over there, so they should just inject him.
They're probably just injecting like fucking brake fluid into people and shit over there. Come on, it's fucking Russia, man.
It's Russia, baby.
This is an interesting story. To go look this up when you get a chance. I haven't had a chance to really look into this, but it came out late last night. It's a study about masks that was done in Denmark, and the findings don't look good for proponents of masks. Like in the end, so
No.
they had people using protective masks, and they were tested using PCR, antibody, and lateral flow tests, and compared with trial participants who did not wear a mask.
Yeah.
And there was no statistically significant difference between those who did and did not wear a mask. 1.8% of those wearing masks caught COVID compared to 2.1% of the control group.
I'm willing to take the 0.3% chance and
Yeah.
just not wear a fucking mask.
Yeah, I mean, I think it just ignores other issues. What's the first? Imagine yourself, you're in your car, right? Mm-hmm. And you're driving to the grocery store, and you get out of your car, you walk up to the grocery store. What happens between your car and the grocery store?
Not wearing a mask?
Right, and then you do what?
Yeah.
Put it on, right?
You put it on
with
right
your
before
hands.
you go on. Yeah, with your dirty hands.
Immediately before you go into any establishment that you're wearing a mask in,
Mm-hmm.
the first thing you've done is put your dirty ass hands
Yep.
all over your fucking face.
Yeah.
Right? Which is where all that COVID shit comes from, in
Yeah.
the back of your throat, in the back of your throat, and then you go inside and proceed to touch everything, particularly grocery store. You're putting your hands on everything,
Produce, all of that.
fucking everything. So
Yeah,
of
dude.
course, it's not to say that masks don't block water droplets. Obviously they do.
Mm-hmm.
That's demonstrable. The point is that it's not. That's not a solution to anything.
No, because we can't control the population
No.
and what they've been doing with their hands all
No.
day and what they're going to continue to do with it. So
I mean, goddamn, dude, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
and the recent stat is that the grocery stores, as of yesterday, there was an article that said that was the biggest way to catch COVID was at a grocery store.
Of course it is. It's definitely not at a bar. How many people do you make physical contact with at a bar? I aim for 0. I don't want anybody fucking touching me ever.
Yeah.
And I know I'm not like everybody else. I get it that I'm kind of a piece of shit, but even people that are super social, when you're not touching other people's faces at a bar.
It depends on who you are. I'm a big face toucher.
Not strangers. And you're usually not, like, how far apart are you in a bar when you have a conversation, particularly one that's not packed?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's usually pretty far for a normal person unless you're some kind of rapey dude or something, or a drunk. There was a drunk girl at WTF last night that was, she was somehow under the impression that she was part of the show. Wouldn't shut the fuck up.
Were you there, Giorgio?
Yeah, during my set, she argued about the price of my OnlyFans.
Yeah,
She was trying $3.99 would have been a more.
She was trying to
appropriate.
haggle him down from $5, and then there was another. I mean, she probably is a close talker, right?
Yes.
She's probably a space invader, but you know, maybe just give people all the information, right? Maybe say, hey, you know what? If you the only way these masks are going to work, people won't start a conversation like that because they feel like it weakens their position being pro-mask. No, it doesn't. You're just giving people information. For the mask to work and do what the fuck it's supposed to do, you also have to wash your hands and not be touching your face all the time. We understand that most people can't do shit like that. Mm-hmm. That's why if you go into a really nice butcher shop right now, they will have like a hand sanitizer station at the front. So the first thing you got to do when you walk into that place is fucking clean your hands. That makes sense to me. But wearing masks in your car alone, it's like
nobody I hate more in this world than people who wear masks in their car. When I drive by somebody who's wearing a mask,
it's worse than the cyclist.
I want them to die.
It's worse than a cyclist for me at this point.
Yeah,
and it doesn't. It's really stupid because it's ineffective. If you treat it like a monolith, if you treat it like a cure-all, right? People will just think that that's it. The mask becomes the effigy in the fight against contracting COVID, when in reality it's actually very, very clearly a very small part of it. Very small part. The real part is A, being healthy, and two, paying attention to what you do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you're in an elevator or something in close proximity to somebody else, and you're not, you don't even have a mask. Neither one of you wearing masks. Even if you thought you had COVID right then, you could 100% guarantee you would not give that other person COVID if you just kept your hands to yourself and didn't breathe in their exact direction.
Right.
Literally just that.
Question for you, Giorgio, because you have a OnlyFans account. It is just Giorgio, right? For $5.
Yeah, just Giorgio for $5. Watch me jerk
What was
it.
she haggling? So you are jacking off in it?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
For sure.
Was there pics? Like, how do you lead up to that, or is it just a jack off?
It's actually what Instagram should be. It's actually in chronological order. So as you post, it goes from newest to oldest.
I missed that.
Yeah.
I missed that.
It's really
That's great. So why was she asking you to lower the price by $1?
I think she says I wasn't worth it.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, she was just talking shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
No big deal.
All right. Was she
I asked her if she
single?
wanted to be my manager, if she thought I could get more people at that price point, and then she shut up after that.
She wasn't the most annoying person there last night.
Oh no, there was a
Was
a
it
group
stand
of
up
three.
last night?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. How is that, by the way?
The most annoying I wish I would have caught her name. The most annoying person, one of the most annoying human beings that I've ever witnessed in my life, was there. She was wearing like some kind of weird little half fake fur coat.
Faux fur.
And like a black sequin captain's hat or
She
something.
came just straight from Burning Man.
Yeah, she looked like a fucking idiot. And she spoke like an idiot as well. All the jokes were funny. All the fucking, Republicans suck. Ha ha, Donald Trump, he's a Nazi. Oh, it's all funny. And then the guy talked about, the woman before this dude talked about rape for a while. The dude that she finally eventually got mad and started talking shit to talked about murdering dogs. And all kinds of other stuff, but then he said the word tranny, and she's just like, "Oh no, can't say that." And here was his joke. He was telling a story about how he accidentally fucked a tranny in Thailand. Right? Obviously, none of it really happened. You could tell because it's none of that. No comedian stories ever really happen.
50-50.
No, it's not. It maybe 10% actually happened, but usually it's like what you're sitting around high as fuck at night, and you're like, you know what would be funny if this happened? Let me write a joke about it. That's usually, anyways. So he's telling this story, and at the end of it, he says, I fucked a tranny, and I can say that because, I fucked one. And the entire joke, aside from just being weird shit about transgender sex and talking about stuff that's kind of out there, is making fun of people who think they can say fucked up shit and then qualify by saying, I've got a black friend.
Right.
So it's fine.
Right.
Like clearly that joke was designed to make fun of that premise,
Sure.
which is pretty for somebody that's an open mic is a pretty sophisticated joke, frankly.
Yeah.
And it just like right over this woman said, "No, you can't say that word." All right, cool.
And then she yelled transphobe at him a lot.
Yeah,
and,
you're just transphobic. Like,
Did he go in on her?
Yeah,
or-
he did. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Eventually, just like, all right, fuck, I'm not gonna be able to get through this anymore, so I'm gonna leave. But the first thing he said when she started calling him transphobic, which was really funny, he goes, "Yeah, they're scary people, very scared of trans people," because that's obviously a bastardization of what transphobic means.
Yeah.
It was clever, and she wasn't. Those people like that want to go to comedy shows and A, get involved in the show, and 2, get offended by the show.
Stand it. I can't stand it.
Stay
Yeah.
home.
Yeah, I know.
You just
Don't
ruined
go.
everybody else's life
Don't
with your
go.
fucking bullshit.
I agree. What happened to you, Giorgio? Was this? Does she know you? Was she a fan of yours?
Yeah, the girl actually liked me because I pretended to be an ally by starting my OnlyFans because I wanted to empathize with women.
Sure.
Yeah. So she liked me after that.
Did you go home with her?
No. The girl who yelled at me, I thought was kind of hot, and I should have, thinking about it this morning, brought her up on stage because if she was going to yell and complain about the prices, she's part of the show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I should have, but
Especially for OnlyFans, like, dude,
yeah, I'm like,
it's $5.
You might as well sample the goods. I probably should just had her rub my nipples or
Exactly.
something.
$1.01
Is what she was arguing over. Yes.
Yeah, that's what she wanted off.
Yeah.
No.
That's fucking $12 a year, my man.
Time to take a hard look at yourself in the mirror if you're
But-
trying to barter people down.
That's like
from $5 on
25%
OnlyFans.
though. So I feel like if she's trying to save that, maybe someone like that in my life could help.
Well, look, if you're out there and you want to go to Just Giorgio and judge his OnlyFans for $5, do it. Let us know if it is worth the $5. Let us know, and then we'll talk about it on the show.
What does that mean to be worth? We made all that up.
$5?
Anything.
Yeah, dude.
We made
Value?
up
Yeah.
the idea of value in something. We just made that shit up.
We did, but $5 I feel like is a good number because look, you can get a $5 footlong from Subway sometimes when they're on sale, or you can see a man jacking off for $5, and I feel like that's more than worth it for $5.
What I don't like is that I can't use the money in OnlyFans as credit to buy porn from other girls. I have to take it to my bank
Oh, you have to
account. and
cash
Yeah,
it
they
out.
should give you like a 20% store credit.
That's what I'm hoping. I would
Yeah.
spend it back in OnlyFans if they did that.
Obviously.
Yeah, like
Obviously.
on Amazon or Postmates even. If your Postmates order gets refunded for some reason,
Yeah.
they'll ask you, do you want it to go back into your bank account or for
You wanna use it again.
for like 10% more? We'll give you 10% more if you just leave it here.
Same with Fiverr. Like if they
Yeah.
give you the money back, it just stays there. Like they're not putting it back on your card. Now's the point in the show we get to the drinking bro of the week, and I'm sure after this conversation they're going to be super amped about this. Jason Stamper from Idaho. He's been a member of Drinking Bros for 3 years. He is nominating Derek Tyler Biggs. Reason for the nomination, he says, our 16-year-old cousin recently passed away, and his name is Derek Tyler Biggs. He's from Wimberley, Texas. Shit, that's right
close,
down,
yeah.
that's 10 miles from me. And was going to join the military after high school graduation. He put smiles on everyone's faces just by walking into the room. Derek touched so many lives, even though he was only 16. He was an ABRA Unlimited Youth Texas State Champion for 2016, 17, 18,
Was that barrel racing?
19, and 20. His family still lives in Wimberley, and the rest of us live in Idaho. Cheers. And Wimberley is like 10 miles from me, actually. Beautiful city. I love that little town, man. It's awesome. That sucks to hear.
I think that's where Omar Crispy Avila lives.
Yeah, dude, Wimberley's rad, man. It's awesome. It's just a little too far to the office, but big fan of that city. Look, if you're out there, you can submit your Drinking Bro of the Week to us at drinkingbros.com. Look, same rules apply as we say every single show. We do not screen these. We read them live, so as they come in, whoever is on top of the pile, we read it, and that's it. So whatever happens on this. And while you're on drinkingbros.com, there's some butter soft teas that are $19.99 if you want to support the show and wear it out in public. So that way, if anybody attacks Giorgio, you'll have your Drinking Bros t-shirt on, and to stop them.
I'd really appreciate that.
I know you would, Giorgio. I know you would. Look, people, we're probably heading into another lockdown. Luckily, podcasts have been deemed essential, so we'll be here with you every single day. We are also looking to split off the sports feed into a new channel, a new podcast channel. on iTunes. We will announce that on the show, obviously, but it's looking like the first week of December for that. We've started a new YouTube page for Drinking Bros Sports, as well as an Instagram. It's just at Drinking Bros Sports on there. So you can look for that coming soon. We got some new hosts and a bunch of new cool shit for you. We're amped about it. Hopefully sports continue this winter. We will see what happens, but in the meantime, we'll be here with you Monday through Friday, kids, and subscribe to American Party. Those guys were going live today. First time we've ever gone live.
Yep.
3 shows in one day. Proud of you guys back there.
They really enjoyed it, I
Fake
think.
Dan and Georgia. It was great.
Yeah.
It's like a real live television network.
Yeah, we'll put the audio out tomorrow like normal, but
Yeah. If only YouTube wouldn't shadow ban us, this would go out to the entire world. But hey,
Hey, we had some good numbers on the show.
we did.
Yeah.
It was great. It was great. And then go to iTunes and rate the show a 5-star and leave a quick review. That is the only thing that moves us up the charts. It is not our millions of listeners. That's it. The charts are solely determined by reviews. So please go and review Drinking Bros Podcast on iTunes. Give it a 5-star and a quick review.
Yeah.
For D'Anthony Holloway, I'm Ross Patterson. This is Drinking Bros Fake News. Good night, everyone.